He has really lived up to his potential night after night, gives his team a chance to win on any given night, and he has fulfilled that role perfectly.
On the back end, the Wheat Kings lead off with Quinn Manti and Gio Pantelis. If there was a silver lining to the cloud of Shipley's injury, it's that Pantelis has been given and accepted more responsibility and seems to be giving the Wheat Kings a bit of a window into their future on the back end.
Yeah, isn't that something? You know, Gio Pantelis gets an opportunity to move up, play alongside Quinn Manti due to the injury to Luke Shipley, and he has just risen to the occasion and has really performed just unbelievably up there alongside Quinn Manti. And it's made the coaching staff kind of sit back and go, hey, you know what? This could be a thing here. This is good. This is a good problem to have. And so Gio Pantelis stays with Quinn Manti. Luke Shipley plays alongside Dylan Ronald, who has had an outstanding season himself.
The emergence of Gio Pantelis allows the Wheat Kings to sort of ease Shipley back into the lineup after missing all that time. So he will, as you mentioned, be alongside Dylan Ronald on the second D pair. Up front, it's Marcus Wynn on the right, Nolan Flamin in the middle, Nick Johnson on the left. In the last game, Johnson scored the first goal for the Wheat Kings, and on that goal, Nolan Flamin became the first Wheat King to get to 60 points on the campaign.
Well, Nolan Flamin, his play just escalated right after Christmas, and he hasn't looked back since. And as you mentioned, Rob, 60 points already on the year. But those three guys have been a constant for many, many games now, and they seem to just work really well together. So why would you change it? Those three guys come to play every night, and they are obviously going to be up for this one against the Edmonton Oil Kings.
Alex Worthington goes between the pipes for Edmonton. He's their usual starter with 37 games played, a tremendous story. Last year he was playing for Briarcrest in the ACAC, looked like he might be done in the WHL. Now he's the Oil Kings' clear-cut starter and helping steer them to a playoff berth. Josh Morey and Blake Fiddler are on the back end for Edmonton. And up front, the Oil Kings with a bit of a classy move, juggling their lines a little bit. They've got Gracyn and Sawchyn together as they have been for much of the year. But instead of Rowan Woodward on the left wing to start, they're going to play Rylan Roarsma, opening up in what may very well be his final game in the building. He spent most of his WHL career. It's not impossible that these two teams would meet in the playoffs, but if they don't, this is the last chance for Rylan Roarsma to play in front of Wheat Kings faithful, a city where he represented the black and gold for 215 games over 5 seasons.
Yeah, and you know that Rylan Roarsma is going to have a lot of family here as well, so a real classy move by the organizations to go along with this, and Rylan Roarsma to start the game. That's pretty cool. Normally he would be on a line with Miller and Aginla, but he's going to jump into that role here to start this hockey game. And you know, like I said, Rylan Roarsma had a bit of a tough season. You know, you get traded, there's an adjustment period, but he also ran into some injury problems as well. Just a great penalty killer, but again, he's good on special teams no matter where you put him.
Your injury report and starting lineup brought to you by Westman Fencing, residential and commercial fencing services. Your keys to the game start on the back end for the Wheat Kings against the Oil Kings. Because Edmonton is missing so many of their big guns on defense, and because they played last night against the Moose Jaw Warriors, our first key to the game is very simply get on their defense.
Yeah, exactly right. When you have inexperience back there, and the Wheat Kings have got into a couple of games like that over the last stretch, you want to try to get pucks behind the defense. You want to force the inexperience of the defensemen that are going back to retrieve that puck to make a mistake. And the way you do that is to attack with some speed and take away their time and space from them. So if the Wheat Kings can generate that from the start of the game, they'll have some success forcing turnovers in the Oil Kings end of the ice.
Our second key to the game stems from the fact that the Wheat Kings are welcoming some guys back of their own. It's very simple. Don't ease up. The team played so well in that 7-game stretch where they were injured, but you can't think you've got it made just because 2 guys are back.
Yeah, you know, when you play with a limited roster, sometimes the group gets especially close. I don't know why that is, but everybody's playing, you know, similar minutes because you're short-staffed. And so everybody really gets close, and there seems to be an extra tight bond formed. But let's not forget about the guys that have been off for injury. Now they're coming back. You know they're good at contributing offensively and defensively. So again, hopefully this will bring the entire group together. But again, now there's going to be some movement, and you got to make sure that players accept their role, because now you're heading into the playoffs, and it's very, very important, just what I said, that players accept what their role is going to be from this stage forward.
Final key to the game for the Wheat Kings is going to be a confident shooter's mentality. When they were at their offensive best on that 7-game and 11-day stretch, they were ripping pucks from absolutely everywhere. A lot of them were going in. That should be a confidence boost to the guys playing tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, the offense has just been unquestionable for this brand of Wheat Kings. Now, they've got a little dried up over the last couple of games. Obviously, the Calgary Hitmen 5-0 win in this rink, it stung the Wheat Kings because they've been, you know, averaging 6 goals a game over the last few before that. And then, of course, they lose 4-2 in Swift Current after a real good, strong third period. but again, they weren't able to get up and get the game evened up, so they take a loss in that one. So I'd like to see the Wheat Kings get back to throwing the puck at the net and seeing if that offense will continue to go in for them.
Recalling the last meeting between these two teams in Edmonton all the way back on December 1st, some guys a little further down the depth chart contributed in a big way for the Wheat Kings. Brady Turco was the hero of that one with a pair of goals in the contest. We'll get ready for puck drop when we come back on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5.
Could we please have captains Quinn Manti and Gavin Hodnack to the corner for the face-off? Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, please rise if you're able to do so and remove any headwear and join Scott Fair for the singing of the Canadian National Anthem.
Oh, Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
It's a Royal Rumble for Wednesday night in the dub. Wheat Kings and Oil Kings. Darned if that isn't the easiest one-liner a matchup in the WHL could produce for a broadcaster. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. Ahead of our first period, brought to you by Westman Communications Group. In that first period, Wheat Kings are down to my left. Carson Bjarnason is the man between the pipes. Off to my right, it's Alex Worthington manning the crease for the Edmonton Oil Kings. Wheat Kings open up with Quinn Manti and Gio Pantelis on the back end. Marcus Wynn, Nick Johnson, and Nolan Flamin up front. It is strength against strength as the Oil Kings lead out with their top unit as well. Gracyn and Lucas Sawchyn. Normally, the left winger on this line is Rowan Woodward, and he will be for much of the game. But to start things out, longtime Wheat King Rylan Roersma, playing what very well could be his final game in this building, gets the start for Edmonton. Top prospect Blake Fiddler is on 1 point, and former Portland Winterhawk Josh Morey is on the other for Edmonton. Flamin will have the opening draw for the Wheat Kings, and the Oil Kings' leading scorer, Gracyn Sawchyn, will oppose him in the dot. Sawchyn is right-handed, Flamin a lefty. Into the circle they go, getting ready to start this Wednesday night matchup between two teams separated by just 1 point in the standings. Oil Kings win the draw, and we are underway. Pass to center, found by Sawchyn. He throws on the brakes, sends it up the near side into the Wheat Kings zone. No icing on the play. Manti back for it, up the near wall, kicking it away from Lucas Sawchyn. One-handed ahead, but it's swept down low by the Oil Kings. Poked below the Wheat King goal line. Roersma sends it around the far side. Gracyn Sawchyn sends it out to Lucas. He'll spin it back out front. Flamin read that and picked it off. Up the boards and out to center for Nick Johnson. He'll get over the red line and dump this in. Worthington's out to play it for the Oil Kings. Left it behind his net for Morey. Josh Morey will skate ahead. His flip pass finds Sawchyn, who airs it to center, wide of anybody in Oil King colors. Icing is waved off as both teams make changes early in a scoreless first. Manti out from behind the Wheat Kings net, leads them on the breakout. To the middle for Dominic Peter, breaking right up the middle. Peter trying to split the defense and walk in. He shoots and he put it just wide. Up the near side, Shipley pinches to hold the zone. Around to the far side, Peter tapped back out front and sits there, knocked wide by Hadland. Picked up in the near corner, sent around the net, blocked by the Vancouver Canucks pick Parker Alkos. Lifted up the near side, Shipley pinches and holds. Hadland to the inside, fires Worthington the save. He juggled it, Peter goes digging for it, but Worthington's got it underneath him with 1 minute and 3 seconds gone in the first period. 2 good chances for the Wheat Kings on that shift. Worthington equal to both.
Yeah, Worthington obviously ready to play here. It's his 38th game of the year, and Dominic Peter's the guy. I think you and I said it, Rob, against the Calgary Hitmen. He got a breakaway in that one, wasn't able to score, but he's the guy you want on a breakaway, but again, unable, just kind of ran out of room, wasn't able to put that puck in the net.
Peter will be the face-off man for the Wheat Kings on the near side, wins it cleanly to Dylan Ronald. From the left point, Ronald sends this wide, tipped by Hadland. Hadland trying to spin this around on the cycle. The Oil Kings disrupt that. Up the near side boards, Noah Tam, move to the line, not out. Luke Shipley pinches in from the right point, walks it across, just missed Peter on the far side. Turco catches up to the rebound, trying to kick it down the wall. He's surrounded by Oil Kings, and it's picked up by Gavin Hodnett. Lifted out of the midsection of Yeko, held by Shipley from the right point. Shipley at the right circle, walks it and fires through traffic, ripped it wide. Turco on the rebound on the far boards, throws it across to Peter at the right circle. Peter waits for an opening, feeds it back out front, tipped just wide by Hadland. Turco on the forecheck, lost it to Hodnett. The Oil Kings break out up the far side. To the near side, the pass misses Hansen and goes into the Wheat Kings zone. Not far enough for icing as Dylan Ronald was back. Luke Shipley to the right of his net, starting the breakout. Bouncing it to center for Baumuller for the Wheat Kings. He'll send this in deep, and again, Worthington's out to play it for Edmonton. Left behind for Morey, out the far side on his backhand, makes the nifty handoff to Cole Miller. Miller through center with speed. Back to the return feed as he ran into the linesman. The Wheat Kings take it away. Jordan Gavin to the near side for Baumuller. With a full head of steam, he'll break in wide to his right. Baumuller trying to drive the net on Morey. Spins it back out front, and it's tapped high. Jacobson on the far side. Back to the left point for Nigel Bame. Bame for the Wheat Kings goes down low. It rolls to Gavin in the far corner of Oil King territory. Gavin works up the boards to the line for Bame. From the left point to Belushko for a shot tipped wide. Rebound sits in the slot. Oil Kings clean it up, and Roersma knocks it to center ice. Joe Aginla over the Wheat King blue line, drives the middle, but the extra move put him offside with 17:35 to go in the first. Classify this as a strong start for the Wheat Kings, notably for the line of Turco, Peter, and Hadland.
Yeah, you know what, a real good start for the Wheat Kings. They seem to really have their skating legs early in this one, and you can see it on the forecheck that they're generating. There was a couple of times, though, I saw Brady Turco on the far side boards, a little bit outnumbered. That's where you have to have your support guy right there quick to help bail out your other guy, but for the most part, the Wheat Kings are skating well here to start this game.
Turco getting an extra shift to join Zacharias and Michaels. Back at center, Raiden Zacharias gets it for the Wheat Kings and dumps it into Oil King territory. Gower up the near side for Edmonton. It rides the glass. Belushko able to hold for a moment before Yeko collects. Driving wide to his right to the far side. Craik back to Yeko in the far corner. Yeko around the net, tried to spin it out front. Belushko erased that chance. Craik back on it for the Oil Kings. Back to the right point for Fiddler. Fiddler drags and fires, punched away by Bjarnason. Gower holds the zone to the near side for Too Good. He's poke checked. Wheat Kings will take it in the near corner, and Belushko lifts it ahead to Mateo Michaels. Out to the line it comes, and Sawchyn breaks back in. Lucas Sawchyn at the left circle, carries around the Wheat Kings net out the far side. Michaels tracking him down as he feeds the line for Fiddler from the right point for Edmonton. He'll try again through traffic, scores! Tipped out of midair by Gracyn Sawchyn, who is parked in front. And with 16:53 to go in the first period, it is a 1-0 Oil King lead. Their leading scorer opens things up.
Yeah, well, Blake Fiddler just had far too much room to get that shot away. It wasn't the best shot. The puck was about mid-height as it went its way in. And, you know, you thought somebody would have been there to clear Sawchyn out of the way. But no, not being the case here. Sawchyn's able to get a stick on it and redirect it into the net.
Gracyn Sawchyn known for pretty goals, and he's certainly scored quite a few of them, but anyone that goes in is pretty, and that was a good redirection. Wheat Kings bench asking some questions of the linesman after that one, as it appeared as if Lucas Sawchyn may have brought that back in offside. But nonetheless, it is an Oil King 1-0 lead, 3:07 into the opening frame. Off the draw, the Wheat Kings win it. Pantelis in his own end to the far side for Quinn Manti. Pantelis from his own right circle, back to Manti between the hash marks, looking ahead. Manti wide to his right over the red line for Marcus Wynn. The puck's stuck on him. He's forced to dump it. Wheat Kings will tag up on the offside, giving the Oil Kings some time. Parker Alkos out the far side of his net. To the near side for Josh Morey. Morey slings it ahead to center. Lucas Sawchyn breaks in, drives to his right. Into the near corner, works back out front. Nick Johnson's there for the Wheat Kings. He bats it off a body and down the ice. No icing on the play. Morey back with Marcus Wynn tracking him. Morey able to shake loose from his old Winterhawks teammate, and he'll throw it to the far side. Gracyn Sawchyn breaks in wide to his right for Edmonton. Spins it back to the far side for a shot off the trapper of Bjarnason and high. Marcus Wynn unable to clear against a pinching Fiddler. Below the Wheat King goal line, Yeko tries to lift it out front, but Manti's able to clean it up. Pantelis to the far side for Nick Johnson. Through center for the Wheat Kings. Over the blue line, he's poke check, feeds it through to Wynn anyway. Back to the near corner. Flamin is on it. Trying to pull around the Oil King net on his backhand. He'll leave it behind on the cycle. To the near corner. Shipley pinches up to hold the zone for the Wheat Kings. He lost it in the feet of Ta'amu. Nick Johnson joins the pile in the near corner with 15:48 to go in the first. Flamin spins it around the far side. Turco is waiting for it for the Wheat Kings. Down to the corner against the checking of Gavin Hodnett. Lifted back to Dylan Ronald at the left point. He's forced to spin it off. Shipley from the right point. To the near side, Johnson. Back to Shipley at the right point with traffic. Shipley winds it up and leaves it for Flamin. Flamin fires, blocked, and it's picked up by Yeko, who's looking the other way. Adam Yeko gets a step and tries to drive the net. He shoots, steered away by Bjarnason. Hodnett on the near side, lost it to Shipley's backtrack. Up the boards, not out. Shipley's second try will come to center, and the Oil Kings collect. 15:19 to go in the first. Oil Kings up 1-0. They have it on the far side of their zone with Ryan Gower. Gower dumps this into the Wheat Kings zone and hustles in after it himself. Ronald's back for it for the Wheat Kings and picks it up to the left of his net. He'll stop up in a spray of snow and wait for the Wheat Kings to get reset. Out the far side, he flips it ahead for Peter. Nearly picked off as breaking back in is Miller. Miller sends it back to Roersma, who backhanded it wide. Miller's wraparound try is stopped by Bjarnason. Shipley in the near corner kicks it loose for the Wheat Kings. Plays it ahead to Dominic Peter on the breakout. He'll look the other way, flipping it ahead, but Miller neatly gloved that down. Back into the Oil Kings zone on the far side. He feeds it back to Lee. To the near side for Morey with 14:44 to go in the first. Roersma breaks in wide to his left for Edmonton. He'll feed the middle. It goes in on Bjarnason, and Bjarnason elects to make the safe play and hang on as the Oil King is already leading 1-0. We're looking for more.
Well, Yeko comes real close. You know, he's been a real hot Oil King as of late. 15 points in his last 9 games, and he comes real close there to, you know, unfortunately for Flamin, gets caught standing still on the Oil King blue line, and that allowed Yeko some space as he charges in on Carson Bjarnason. But good job by Flamin to come back as best he could and try to eliminate the amount of room that the Edmonton Oil King player had to try to put that puck in.
Jacobson for the defensive zone draw for the Wheat Kings, wins it cleanly back. Bam out the far side to Jordan Gavin at the left circle. Skating his way to center, tracked down by Craig. Gavin holds in his backhand, getting surrounded by Oil Kings. He's forced to play it back into his own end. To the near side for Adam Belushko. Belushko fires it across to Gavin, who tips this into Oil King territory and goes in after it. Alkos there first. He and Gavin collide in the far corner. Jacobson joins the pile, lifted up the far boards, and Craig of the Winkler Flyers, called up for tonight's game, will drag this to center. Baummuller knocks him off stride. Craig follows up and dumps it in with 14:07 to go in the first. Wheat Kings down 1-0. Belushko to the far side for Nigel Bame. He's got some time as the Oil Kings change. Bame up the far boards to Gavin. Slap back into the Wheat Kings zone. Belushko collects it. He'll peel back away from the forecheck of Sawchyn. Thrown to the far side. Gavin knocks it down and shovels it in deep. He'll go for a change. Mateo Michaels hard to the forecheck for the Wheat Kings. Gower spins off him and comes out the right side of the Oil King net. Stops on a dime. Gower comes out the near side now. Michaels still closing on him as he plays it ahead. Sawchyn dropped it off dangerously. Zacharias swept it away for the Wheat Kings. Gower sends it around the far side this time. Zacharias there again. Michaels spins it back out front, but Gracyn Sawchyn's there defensively. He'll spin back from his own left circle and work to the inside. Sawchyn wide to his right now through center. Dodging back to the middle. Makes a couple of nice moves, and the Oil Kings dump it in around the near wall. Pantelis and Lucas Sawchyn after it. One up the near boards by the Wheat Kings. Michaels will flip this out to center, and the older Sawchyn gloves it down. 13:17 to go in the first. Wheat Kings down 1-0 as Lucas Sawchyn makes a couple moves at center. Woodward now breaking in for the Oil Kings. Shoots, punched away by Bjarnason. Up the near side. Pantelis tries to clear it. Comes right back to Manti. His breakout pass finds Mateo Michaels. The Wheat Kings come through center 3 wide. Michaels makes a toe drag move over the line. Michaels drags to the slot and shoots, and he ripped it high. Zacharias at the rebound, put it wide. On the near side, it's lifted out front for Michaels. Robbed by Worthington with the blocker. Peter from the left circle sends it out front again. Off a skate all the way to the line where Gavin Hodnett finds it for the Oil Kings. He'll peel back and buy his mates some time to change. 12:45 to go in the first. Still a 1-0 Oil King lead. Golden chance there for the Wheat Kings. Leading the way is Fiddler. To the inside, now to the far side he goes for Yeko. Yeko with speed, up the near side of center. Dodges his way over the Wheat King blue line and feeds it through, but the extra move put him offside. And with 12.5 to go in the first, we'll take a timeout on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5. A point shot by Blake Fiddler has the Edmonton Oil Kings up 1-0, and they've officially credited it as his goal, though they might decide that Gracyn Sawchyn got this one, but if it's Fiddler's, it would be his 9th of the season. He continues to lead the Oil Kings in goals by a defenseman. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. The face-off will be brought to the far side of the neutral zone in front of the Wheat King bench just outside their zone. It's Flamin, Johnson, and Wynn against Hodnett, Hansen, and Yeko. Flamin will take the draw. Hansen his opponents. Flamin has Shipley and Ronald behind him. 12:33 to go in the first. Wheat Kings down 1-0. They win the draw. Ronald falls from the seat of his pants. He still makes the play to the near side. Shipley from the right circle. Spins it back down low to buy some time. Ronald from the front of the Wheat King net up the far boards. Picked off by Hodnett. Hodnett drops it between his feet to our on-rushing Hansen. Hansen feeds it back out front and just missed Yeko. From the top of the umbrella, Alkos has to retreat to center. Handing it off to Morey between the Oil King hash marks. He throws it ahead for Hodnett. Quick pass up finds Hansen. Over the Wheat King blue line with speed. Trying to drive the goal. He works it out front and Yeko stopped point blank by Bjarnason. Shipley toe drags his way out of the near corner to start the Wheat King breakout. Up to Marcus Wynn. Through center to his left. He'll get towards the blue line. Got stripped of the puck. Hodnett's looking the other way. From the left circle he makes a couple of moves. Wheat Kings swarm back and take the puck again. Shipley bats it to the far side. Johnson catches up to it from the Wheat King bench. Over the red line, Nick Johnson now over the blue line, wide to his left, drops it to Belushko. His shot blocked. Johnson fights for it and wins the battle on the far side for the Wheat Kings. He'll knock it down low, but Brandon needs a change. And with 11:38 to go in the first period, they'll get one. Tamu over the Wheat King blue line. Dumps it into the corner to Bjarnason's right. Around the net goes Tamu. Feeds it back out front for a shot. Shoulder save by Bjarnason. Hadland gloves down the rebound and carries to center. To the near side for Turco. Breaking in wide to his right on Miller. Turco slams on the brakes. Feeds it across to Peter from the left circle. Peter, a shot saved by Worthington. Peter in the far corner gets his own rebound back to the line. Bame from the left point. Forced to dump it down low around the near side for Turco in Oil King territory. He'll take the bump and win it back to the line, but the Oil Kings are able to collect it. Dumped into Wheat Kings territory. Belushko on it first with 9 minutes gone in the first period. It's a 1-0 Oil King lead. Bame looks up ice to Turco. He'll dodge the forecheck of Too Good and flip it off. Hadland over the line to his left with speed. Spins it back out front, but Too Good's there to clean it up. Miller in the far corner for the Oil Kings. Sends it up the near side of their zone. Hadland comes in to seal the lane. It comes through to Aginla and out to center the Oil Kings come. Too Good dropping it off. Return feed dumped over the Wheat King blue line and picked up by Miller. Breaking in with speed from the left circle. He throws it on goal. Pad save Bjarnason. Gio Pantelis collects the rebound. He'll start the breakout, firing it up ice, trying to get a bounce off the end boards, but Alkos was there ahead of Jacobson to ensure icing against the Wheat Kings. 10:33 to go in the first. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. It is a 1-0 Oil King lead.
Yeah, the Wheat Kings have had some chances. They haven't got a lot of pucks right on the net, but they've had some great opportunities. Turco with a great job along the near side boards in the Oil Kings end with a backhand pass across the seam right onto the stick for the Brandon Wheat Kings of Dominic Peter, and Peter with in a little bit tight, tried to lift it over the shoulder and elevate it into the net, but again, goaltender Alex Worthington there to make the save.
Jacobson for the defensive zone draw on the far side of the Wheat King zone. Gracyn Sawchyn will be his opponent. Sawchyn wins it back. Lucas Sawchyn from the right circle to the far corner, feeds it out to Sawchyn. A shot steered away by Bjarnason. Manti claims the rebound for the Wheat Kings out the far side of his net. From the left circle, he'll air this to center, trying to avoid another icing. He finds Baumüller on the right side. Baumüller speeds this down low. Jacobson after it against Lee in the far corner. Oil Kings win the battle, but it's steered to the line where it's found by Roan Woodward at center. Woodward breaking ahead, stood up by Gio Pantelis and knocked off the puck. And Pantelis dumps it back into the Oil Kings zone. Lee for Edmonton out the far side of his net, threw it up the middle and found Roan Woodward. Shipley pinches to knock it off his tape. Lucas Sawchyn now for Edmonton to the far side of his own zone for Lee. Up to Gracyn Sawchyn at the Wheat King bench. He shovels it into the Wheat Kings territory. Woodward and Shipley joust for it. Past the midway mark of the first, Wheat Kings down one. Sawchyn off the goal line. Poke check by Dylan Ronald. He'll pick it up to the left of that Wheat Kings net and bounce it ahead to Jordan Gavin. Pinching on him on the far side is Alkos. It's swept down low behind the Wheat King net. Shipley is after it. He's able to spin away from a forechecking Sawchyn. Up the far side, Gavin steers it off to Jacobson. Through center, he flips it ahead for Baumüller with a step. Up the far side, he's wrapped up by Tamu. Baumüller gets there first in Oil King territory and sends it to the near corner. Poke down low, Baumüller is on it from the right circle, trying to fight his way loose from his old teammate Roersma. Jacobson joins the pile as the puck's knocked down by Roersma, and he'll knock it to center. Wheat Kings pick it back up at their logo. Bame on the far side of the neutral zone lifts it ahead. Wheat Kings are changing, so the Oil Kings pick it off. Too Good breaks back up the left side. At the left circle, his fade pass out front is off the skate of Belushko and wide. Bame sends it up the near boards on a Wheat King breakout. Michaels will catch up to it with a full head of steam. Rocketing over the Oil King blue line. He's erased by Morey on the near side. Morey takes the puck and spins back in the near corner. Puck thrown dangerously out front. Oil Kings will get this to center thanks to Craig. Belushko on the near side for the Wheat Kings with 8:52 to go in the first period. Wheat Kings down 1-0. Hadland breaks back in wide to his left on Fiddler. Stops up and Craig comes in high on him as Michaels comes in to try to help Hadland out. On the far wall of the Oil Kings zone, Hadlin's driven to the wall by Fiddler, holding it back defensively as well. Michaels and Hadlin both trying to lift it out, and they do, but Manti's unable to hold the line. Out to center it comes. Craig for the Oil Kings, roughed up at the Wheat King bench as Hadlin threw a shoulder into him. Michaels now takes it for Brandon, over the Oil Kings blue line to his left. From the far side, he flips it to the middle, trying to find Manti. Manti peels back at the right circle, along the umbrella. Manti finds Pantelis from the right point. Pantelis takes a shot off a body and wide. It pinballs back out front. Worthington swept it out of harm's way. Oil Kings collected thanks to Morey. Chased down by Marcus Wynn. Two former Winterhawks wrap one another up and go down as the Oil Kings break in. Hodnett driving to the middle. Backhands it out to Yeko. He'll take it around the net out the far side of the Wheat King zone. Yeko shielding it with that 6'5" frame. Lost it to Manti. And the shot is blocked, sending it back up ice. Wynn hustling after it from the right circle. Wynn walks in and fires. Save. Rebound, and he chopped it wide. On the far side, Johnson for the Wheat Kings. Tried to send it out front. It rolls to Shipley in the slot. Shipley wide to his right. Holds on as he takes it to the near corner, spinning back on Hansen. From the right point, Shipley waits for a lane. Drives down the boards again. He's poke checked. The Oil Kings are looking back the other direction. Hodnett to center, wide to his left. At the left circle, Hodnett walks in and fires off the trapper of Bjarnason and wide. And all the way to center to send Nick Johnson the other way. Johnson over the line to his left. Has Wynn busting to the goal. Johnson tries a shot, and that rides the stick of Fiddler. He'll get the rebound on the near side. Got lined up and hit, but took the hit to make the play. And the whistle blows as the Oil Kings net has become dislodged with 7:28 to go in the first period. The two teams opened things up there for a moment.
Well, they certainly did. There were chances at both ends of the ice, and the one I liked was Marcus Wynn catching up to that puck just around the face-off dot in the Oil Kings end, and he takes a quick stab at it with a nice big shot. Worthington there to make the save. But what I liked about Marcus Wynn's effort, and we're seeing it here on a replay, is he sticks with the puck. Even though he gets that first shot, he waits and stands around, waits for the rebound, gets a second crack at it. Sometimes players will skate away after that shot and go away from the puck, but Marcus Wynn sticks with it, gets a second chance.
Dominic Peter and Ryland Roersma for the draw on the near side of the neutral zone. Peter and Roersma both left-handed. Peter ties up and wins it for the Wheat Kings. Bame fires it into the Oil Kings zone high and hard. Up the near side, Turco after it for Brandon. Back to the line, Belushko. From the right point, he shoots through traffic, tipped wide by Hadlin. He'll get after it in the far corner to Turco at the left circle. Knocked back down low. Fiddler collects for Edmonton. Up the near side of their zone, Belushko pinches to force Iginla back. Thrown to the top, Turco holds the line from the left point. He goes down low to Peter in the far corner. Back to Turco for a shot taken just wide. Fiddler skates out the near side for Edmonton. Bumps it off the boards and on to Iginla. Carrying to the red line. He'll fire it up ice. He missed his intended target, and as Bame was back, icing is the call against Edmonton with 6:56 to go in the first. Oil Kings lead the Wheat Kings 1-0 on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5.
The Jobotron, you got to tell me if the next one's going to be higher or lower. Sound good?
All right.
All righty, let's take a look at card number 1. Let's see what it is. Card number 1 is 20. That's Binder Nord. Higher or lower?
Lower.
She said lower. That is lower. That's 5. That's wrong.
He's right here.
Higher.
Going with higher on a 5. I like it. That's 27. Shipley, higher or lower?
Is that shot clock working?
Going higher on a 27. And it is higher. That's 72. That's Wynn. Higher or lower?
Higher.
And it is higher. That's 91. That's Flamin. Congratulations, Tony. There you are. That's an original Joe's gift card. Thanks for playing tonight.
Wheat Kings trailing 1-0 thanks to Gracyn Sawchyn tipping a point shot by Blake Fiddler. Face-off coming up in the Oil Kings zone on the far side to the right of Alex Worthington. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. If that does stand as Gracyn Sawchyn's goal, it would be already his 27th of the season. He leads the Oil Kings in that department. It's Jacobson, Gavin, and Baumüller for the Wheat Kings against Roersma, Miller, and Iginla. Shipley and Manti are the defensemen for Brandon. They're reunited already for this offensive zone face-off, and they were dynamite before Shipley went down injured against the Wenatchee Wild. Jacobson will have the draw against Roersma on the far side, wins it to the far boards. Baumüller after it, surrounded by white sweaters, and the Oil Kings take it. Fiddler out the near side on his backhand, dumps it to the line, held for a moment by Gavin. Iginla's able to get it the rest of the way to center. Roersma pokes it over the Wheat King blue line. From the left circle, he spins and sends it back out front. Shipley able to collect it. Iginla picks off the pass. He'll work back in for a shot. Mask save by Bjarnason. Rebound picked up and steered away. Gavin unable to clear. He'll try the far side and find Jacobson, and Jacobson does get to center with a couple of nice moves. He'll shovel this into the Oil Kings zone. Wheat Kings fight for it on the far side as Miller lost it. Picked up by Baumüller. Baumüller pulls the trigger save. Rebound. Gavin knocked it wide. Another try, and Jacobson was robbed by Worthington. Back come the Oil Kings on a counter. Iginla through center. over the red line, stopped up by Shipley. Miller's forced to dump it in with 6:13 to go in the first. Bjarnason's out to play it, and Quinn Manti takes over, skating his way ahead. His pass to Gavin, no icing on the play as it was knocked in. Turco will pick it up on the near side, trying to shake loose from Ta'amu, who stays right with him. Oil Kings take the puck, led by Sawchyn. Through center with speed over the Wheat King blue line, drives wide to his right. Sawchyn right to the slot. His shot was blocked, taken by Zacharias, but the Wheat Kings overskate it. Lucas Sawchyn on the far side dumps it down low, all the way around the near side to his brother Gracyn. Steered back to Maury at the left point, quickly to the right for Lee. From that right circle, he works wide on Zacharias. Lee along the top, twisting and turning. Throws this out front for Lucas Sawchyn. He's poke-checked, and Zacharias will take over for the Wheat Kings. To the line, not out. Good keep by Sawchyn. He drives the middle. His pass rides a stick, and finally Michaels gets it out to neutral ice. Gracyn Sawchyn took it back for a moment before Turco picked his pocket. Brady Turco lifts this into Oil King territory with 5:25 to go in the first. Wheat Kings down 1-0. Michaels to the forecheck. Lost it against the backtrack of Maury, and Lucas Sawchyn will clean things up for Edmonton. The goal scorer, Gracyn Sawchyn, to center over the Wheat King blue line. Tries a toe drag move. Lost it to Gio Pantelis. Quickly up ice. It hit Marcus Wynn in the back of the foot. He couldn't locate it. Overskating it is Woodward now. Scrambled up at the Oil King bench. Finally lifted ahead, and the Oil Kings take it back again. Pantelis takes it away. Nick Johnson for the Wheat Kings. Dumps it in and goes in after it with 5 to go in the first. Miller for Edmonton. Behind his net. Dropped it off on the far side. Johnson goes after him. Up the boards. It's past Flamin, but held from the line by Bam. To the near side, Marcus Wynn goes after it. Up the near side boards in Oil King territory. Pantelis gloves it down and holds the right point. His shot rides a body and goes high. In the far corner, Nick Johnson's after it against Blake Fiddler. One up the far boards by the Oil Kings. Craik will carry to center, wide to his right. Craik pokes it to the middle, trying to send Miller ahead. Wheat Kings knock it out of harm's way. Flamin will pick it up and dodge his way ahead. Got spun around but stayed on his feet. Flamin takes the bump from Craik, and Too Good takes over for the Oil Kings. 4:25 to go in the first. It's dropped back into Edmonton territory and sent quickly back to center where it's tipped in by Miller. Too Good hard to the forecheck in the near corner of the Wheat King zone. Back to Yeko on the cycle. He and Pantelis fight for the loose puck. Shipley will take it. Lost it again to Yeko. From the left circle, he sends it back to the right point for Lee. To the middle for Yeko. Back to Lee on the far side for Edmonton. 4:07 to go in the first. Wheat Kings down by 1. Lee holds that right point for the Oil Kings. Tightrope walking. He sends this through traffic. Rebound try. Bjarnason the save as he robs Too Good point blank. Too Good goes digging for it, but Pantelis moves him away from the Wheat King goaltender. 4 minutes to go in the first, and the Oil Kings getting some good work done in the Wheat King zone. Still a 1-0 Edmonton advantage.
Well, we had a long stretch without any stoppage of play here, but one of the things that really stands out for me is the amount of turnovers that the Wheat Kings have been guilty on in their own zone over the last 3 or 4 shifts. Now, while both teams have had their fair share of turnovers in this first period, and only 1 goal to show for it on either team, it still amazes me how many turnovers in their own zone for the Wheat Kings. They've been very fortunate not to give up that second goal tonight.
Peter for the draw against Gracyn Sawchyn, who's coming over the boards at every opportunity for the Oil Kings. 1 to the middle. Wheat Kings speed it back to the near side. Luke Shipley flips it ahead to Turco. He chops it away from Lee on the near boards in front of the Oil King bench. Sawchyn wins it back for Edmonton out of the scrum. Turco tries to lift it over the blue line and does, but Roersma steers it right back to center for Edmonton. Thrown to the far side, Manti for the Wheat Kings carries in wide to his left, dumps it in and goes in after it. Roersma's back defensively for Edmonton. To Maury on the far boards. He'll spin back in the corner and look for a lane up ice. Josh Maury ahead, bounces it on to Roersma at center. He'll poke it over the Wheat King blue line. Shipley pokes it right back out. Back in comes Lucas Sawchyn, forced to dump it to the far corner. Shipley there for the Wheat Kings, out the near side away from Roersma's forecheck. Shipley driving to his left, gets his way to center past Gracyn Sawchyn. Over the blue line, Caleb Hadland on the far side. Tried to feed the middle, second try, tipped wide. Peter on the near side spins it back out front. Worthington held his post. Hadland behind the Oil Kings net comes up with it. In the far corner, his pass picked off by Sawchyn. And the Oil Kings are out to center ice with 3:05 to go in the first period. Hadland dumps it back in, but the Wheat Kings are in need of a change, and they'll hustle to get one. Gracyn Sawchyn with lots of runway. He'll get it back from between his own hash marks, thrown to the far side for Alkos. His pass bottled up, comes right back to him. Off the boards and out to center. Wheat Kings dump it back into the far corner of Oil King territory where Adam Yeko is on it for Edmonton. From the bottom of the right circle, he goes around the near side to Ta'amu. Backhand pass ahead as he got lined up and hit by Baumüller. Hodnett feeds the middle, and the Oil Kings have a lane to break out. On the far side, Yeko back to the near side for Hodnett. He'll spin it off his tape and get this back into the Wheat King zone. Ta'amu hustles up to join the attack. He throws this back across, and Bjarnason sprawls out with a huge save to keep it 1-0. Wheat Kings look for a quick counter, and Gavin will lead it. Over the blue line to his right. Throws on the brakes and waits for help. Gavin sauces it across to Ronald. Ronald pulls the trigger, saved by Worthington. Rebound to the near side. Gavin trying to hold it for the Wheat Kings. Knocked past him by Hansen to the middle. Hodnett now for the Oil Kings. Over the Wheat King blue line to his right. Makes a move on Ronald. Tries to drive off the goal line. Back out front. Pantelis sweeps it away. And just out to center ice with 2:05 to go in the first. Gower for Edmonton looking ahead to Hodnett. He'll dump this in as the Wheat Kings go back for it. Ronald's got a hustle with 2 Oil Kings bearing down on him. Hard up the far boards as the Wheat Kings change. It's kicked to the middle of the ice. Too Good flips it back over the Wheat King blue line, but his mates are offside. Back at center, Flamin takes it for Brandon. Over the Oil King blue line, wide to his left. Flip back to Johnson at the left circle. Johnson to his backhand, stopped by Worthington. Woodward now leads a counter for the Oil Kings as we trade chances. Too Good lifts the backhander into the Wheat Kings zone with 1:38 to go in the first. Bjarnason's out to play it. Hard up the far boards, all the way to center for Johnson again. In and out of his feet to Flamin on the gallop. Over the Oil King blue line. Left it behind for Johnson, but he overskated it. Too Good will knock it off of Johnson and out to center ice. Rowan Woodward for Edmonton now. Over the Wheat King blue line, his shot is in on Bjarnason from long range, and Bjarnason's got to hang on with both Woodward and Too Good charging the net. 1:21 to go in the first period, and each goaltender with a 10-beller to keep it a 1-0 Oil King lead.
Yeah, there's some been real challenging shots here against both goaltenders, and both goalies have really took a shine here early on in this one here. Some great saves at both ends of the ice as these two teams are putting on a clinic here as far as chances at each end of the ice, but still only the one goal by the Oil Kings is all we have to show for this one in the first period.
It's Peter, Hadlin, and Michaels now for the Wheat Kings for a defensive zone draw against Gracyn and Lucas Sawchyn and Rylan Roersma. Maury and Alkos the point men for the Oil Kings. Peter for the draw against Sawchyn, ties up. One free by the Wheat Kings, but held by Lucas Sawchyn with a tightrope walk move. On the far side, Roersma spins it down low. Peter after it for Brandon. Around the near side for Shipley. 1:10 to go in the first. He spots Mateo Michaels, who drags it to center for the Wheat Kings. Hadlin over the Oil King blue line. Back to Michaels at the right circle. Sent on goal and steered away by Worthington. Michaels on the far side goes after it, surrounded by Oil Kings. Driven to the far wall. Michaels came up with it for a moment. Peter back to the left point for Manti. Manti waits for traffic. He'll pull the trigger, blocked by his own man and never got through. Roersma to the near side for Lucas Sawchyn. He's poke checked and the Oil Kings are forced back. Maury behind the Edmonton net, chased out by Dominic Peter with 45 to go in the first period. To center comes Alkos. Over the Wheat King blue line, he'll dump this wide of Bjarnason up the near side. Shipley goes after it for the Wheat Kings, sends it around the net to Quinn Manti. 35 seconds in the period. Manti patient, looks up to Mateo Michaels at center. To his backhand, he'll find Peter breaking in wide to his left. Drop back to Michaels and back to Peter behind the Oil King net. He hooks it back out front, but the Oil Kings read that. Hadlin on it again. It bounces to Michaels at the right circle. Working it back to Peter on the right side. Up the boards he comes. Fed to the top for Pantelis. He's just unable to hold the line. He knocks it back in deep with 14 seconds to go in the first. Lee for Edmonton leads one more breakout with 10 seconds to go. He'll stop up and throw it across. Missed his target, but the Oil Kings can't corral it. Claimed by Jacobson. He'll break it back in. Time for perhaps one more shot. To his backhand. He shoots. Pad save. Rebound to the far side. Belushko blasts one. Scores! Adam Belushko! Krasna! 1-1!
And there's nothing showing on the clock for time, but it looks like this is going to count. A great individual effort by Jackson Jacobson. He gets the shot and the rebound goes to the far side boards, and just a spin and a fire from Belushko, and it finds the back of the net.
From an impossible angle, Adam Belushko goes bar down, and the Wheat Kings may have tied the score. We're going to need a review for this one. It's about as close to the wire as it could get, and that shot was about as close to perfect as you could get. If we were basing this solely on the perfection of the shot, we'd have to award Adam Belushko an outstanding goal. But as it is, we are a bit at the mercy of the clock. Now, the clock down to our left is stuck at 4 seconds, which might be some wishful thinking on the part of some Wheat Kings staff here. I don't think there was quite that much time left to go, considering there was only 5 when Jacobson broke back in. But Wheat Kings were on the wrong end of one of these the other night in Swift Current. We'll see if .7 is lucky for them this time as opposed to unlucky. The referee says good goal.
Wow, that's incredible. Adam Belushko, his 3rd goal of the year.
And for those of our listeners wondering, what noise did you just make, Rob, when Belushko scored? Adam Belushko has been trying to teach me a Slovakian word. Krasna means beautiful. He tells me, Rob, when I get that goal, the word is Krasna. So it was a Krasna goal for Adam Belushko to tie the score at 1 with .4 seconds on the clock in the first period. Jackson Jacobson takes the face off one more time for the Wheat Kings. Time will tick off, and the Wheat Kings and Oil Kings will go into the dressing room tied at 1. Wheat Kings were on the wrong end of a last-second dagger against the Swift Current Broncos. They were on the right end of one this time around.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. The Wheat Kings gave up a goal with .7 seconds on the clock against the Swift Current Broncos in Swift Current the other night. but here it works in their favor. And what a bullet, a no-look bullet by Adam Belushko from the far side boards. Tough angle, and it finds the top of the net.
You could practice that shot 100,000 times and never place it as perfectly as Belushko did just there. Suddenly the momentum in the Wheat Kings corner as we go to our first intermission on Q Country 91.5. And in that first intermission, we'll hear from Nolan Flamin, who just picked up his 60th point of the season, leading the Wheat Kings in that department, and is the first Wheat King, of course, to get to that number. And we've got a heck of a period to recap, too, when we return on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5.
Fans, here's Willie on the CNC quad.
By the end of that period, it looked like the Brandon Wheat Kings were going to have to content themselves with only being down by one, but with 0.4 seconds on the clock, Adam Belushko sent one straight bar down to make it a 1-1 tie. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5 and CHL Live for this Wednesday night in the Dub game. Fitting between two teams so close in the standings, they should be tied at one and nearly tied in shots on goal after 20 minutes. It was the Oil Kings who opened the scoring. Blake Fiddler with a point shot from the right side, redirected beautifully by Gracyn Sawchyn between the five hole of Bjarnason to make it a 1-0 game. Then with just 0.4 seconds on the clock, after Jackson Jacobson did what I thought was very clever, Pete, and shot for a rebound, Adam Belushko put one bar down on Alex Worthington, as perfectly placed a shot as you could ever ask for.
Yeah, you know, the key is the shot by Jax Jacobson. I mean, he goes in there, he's on his backhand, but he gets a lot on it. and he throws that shot, and he keeps it low. That's the key. So often we'll see guys go in along the wing and take a shot. They're always looking for that top shelf, but Jacobson throws it nice and low, just 3 or 4 inches off the ice, and it goes right off the pad of the goaltender Worthington, but then it heads straight across to the far side boards, and that's where Belushko comes in. He meets the puck there, just puts his head down and fires towards the net, and it couldn't have found the tightest spot possible, but it was top shelf over the shoulder of Alex Worthington. And what a huge goal, because, I think it's so important for the Wheat Kings to have tied this game up. They go in the dressing room with the tie. They had their fair share of chances, but they also gave up a lot of opportunities to the Oil Kings. But at the end of the day, the teams go to the dressing rooms deadlocked, and I think that might benefit the Brandon Wheat Kings more than the Oil Kings here, and give the Brandon Wheat Kings a little bit of momentum to carry into the second period.
So we have a perfect redirection at one end and a pinpoint accurate shot at the other, and it feels the way Bjarnason and Worthington are playing like those are the kind of shots you're going to need to break through in this game. The Wheat Kings have been getting a lot of offense from Nolan Flamin this season. Flamin with 20 goals and 40 assists now, up to 60 points on the year to lead the team. Both milestones that he had in mind when the season began, and of course there's still plenty of season left. We'll talk with Nolan when we come back on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5.
Fans. Fans, open up that CHL app and play along with fan picks. If you want to see your photos up on the Jumbotron, upload them right now on the CHL app. Fans, it's time now for the Progressive Westman cleanup crew. And make sure you look up, because the Canadian Tire blimp is flying around. It's going to be dropping one $25 gift card to a lucky fan this intermission.
A hard lesson coming out of the game against the Swift Current Broncos for the Wheat Kings was you absolutely, positively need to play to the buzzer. You can give up a goal with less than a second left. I'd say lesson learned. They scored a goal with less than a second left in the first period tonight to square the score at 1 against the Edmonton Oil Kings. You're back with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger on Q Country 91.5. And our first intermission, Wheat Kings 1, Oil Kings 1 through 20 minutes. For Edmonton, it was Gracyn Sawchyn on a redirect. And for the Wheat Kings, it was Adam Belushko with a bullet of a shot off the wall following the rebound of a Jacobson backhander. So Jacobson will get on the board in his first game back. Joby Bom also drawing an assist on that one. In the absence of Jacobson, and for that matter of Luke Shipley, the Wheat Kings look to a lot of different guys to help out and a lot of different guys to lead the way. And while there haven't been a ton of constants for a Wheat Kings squad that has dealt with more than its fair share of injuries, one of the most consistent guys they've had has been Nolan Flamin, no question. Flamin now leads the team in scoring. He's the first Wheat King to 60 points, and that's a number that, by the way, would have led the Wheat Kings in scoring last year as well. Since he's operating at better than a point per game, 70 points now seems like a matter of when, not if, and maybe even 80 points is on the table with, including tonight, still 13 games to go. I got a chance to ask Nolan about some of his goals for the season and about whether he was happy reaching the 20-goal and 60-point plateau. Nolan Flamin, 20 goals and 40 assists on the year. 60 points, that's a career high for him, though he's still got a little work to do to match the 21 goals he scored last season as a member of the Wheat Kings. You're back with Rob Mann in our first intermission on Q Country 91.5. We are tied at 1 after 20 minutes. If you're just joining us, it started out with Gracyn Sawchyn for the Oil Kings, redirecting a point shot taken from the right side by Blake Fiddler. Then the Wheat Kings getting a buzzer beater. Jacobson took the shot. Big rebound from Worthington. He steered it well all the way to the far boards, just not quite as well as Adam Belushko steered the follow-up shot. He put it bar down from a nearly impossible angle to make it a 1-1 tie where we now sit. Shots 15-12 in favor of the Oil Kings in that opening frame, so a bit more offensively inclined of a first period than we saw in Swift Current, where the two teams combined had just the 15 shots. Of course, it was 9-6 for the Broncos after 20 minutes in that one. And while neither of these teams seems to mind opening things up a little bit, their coaching staffs have both talked about the respect they have for their opposing forward groups and about the fact that these aren't necessarily teams you want to trade chances with. And it was only a 10-bell save by Carson Bjarnason at one end and a strong stop by Worthington on Dylan Ronald at the other that have preserved what is now a 1-1 tie. We'll see if the Wheat Kings were able to, in fact, get any momentum out of that late tying goal from Adam Belushko when we come back for the second period on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5. Watching the highlights of that first period between the Wheat Kings and Oil Kings, we could easily be talking about more than a 1-1 tie right now. Both goaltenders with some big ones in that opening frame. Here with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger on Q Country 91.5 for Wheat Kings hockey. Before the second period begins, we'll peek in on the out-of-town scoreboard for Stride Credit Union. And because of an unusual noon Wednesday start, we've already got a final. The Calgary Hitmen doing the Wheat Kings a mild favor, beating the Swift Current Broncos 3-0. The Prince Albert Raiders, on the other hand, are up 1-0 on the Lethbridge Hurricanes, whom the Wheat Kings will see in this building on Friday night. The other games are out west. It's Kelowna and Prince George, Portland and Kamloops, and Vancouver and Spokane. That's your out-of-town scoreboard for Stride Credit Union. Get into your dream home with a Stride mortgage. Carson Bjarnason leads the Wheat Kings back to the ice. Alex Worthington does the same with the Oil Kings, and it's nearly time to start the second. In your second period for Westman Communications Group, the Wheat Kings are off to my right. Bjarnason is their man between the pipes, stopping 11-12 in the first period. At the other end, Alex Worthington only surrendering the one, and it came with 0.4 seconds to go to Adam Belushko. If not for the two goaltenders, Pete, this could be a very different looking score right now.
Yeah, you know, both goaltenders are very impressive. You know, we talked a lot about Carson Bjarnason and how he has given his team a chance to win night after night, and the same could be said at the other end of the ice for the Edmonton Oil Kings and Alex Worthington. This is his 38th start this year, a .903 save percentage. You know, he's been outstanding as well for the Oil Kings.
Throughout the first period, the Oil Kings were regularly rotating a winger out of the line with Lucas and Gracyn Sawchyn. Sometimes it was Rylan Roarsma, sometimes it was Rowan Woodward, and it looks like Woodward will be the left winger starting out with that duo. It's Nick Johnson, Nolan Flamin, and Marcus Wynn up front for the Wheat Kings, with Quinn Manti and Gio Pantelis on the back end. Fiddler on one point and Morey on the other for the Oil Kings. Flamin and Gracyn Sawchyn in for the opening face-off of the second period. Scrambled up to the near side, the Oil Kings find it, and we begin the middle frame. Patiently back into his own zone, Fiddler. Up the near side, Sawchyn tips this into the Wheat Kings zone. Pantelis is back, and they immediately signal icing against the Oil Kings. So just 10 seconds into the second period, the Wheat Kings get an offensive zone draw. They'll bring this faceoff back into Oil King territory, or rather they'll bring it back to center after a quick conversation between the referee and the linesman. Looks like the linesman who called icing has been overruled. So right back to center we go for a rematch of Flamin versus Gracyn Sawchyn. We are tied at 1 early in the second period for Westman Communications Group, and it's another win by Gracyn Sawchyn. Dumped into the Wheat Kings zone, no icing even signaled this time. It's poked up the far side boards. Oil Kings try to fight it loose. Pantelis kicking it away for the Wheat Kings to Manti on the near side. Back to Flamin on the breakout. He'll air this to center. Morey gloves it down, and Morey will fire this back into the Wheat Kings zone. Bjarnason's out to play it. Up the near side, Lucas Sawchyn from the right circle throws it back out front to Gracyn. Tightrope walking in, and Bjarnason holds his post and leaves no rebound with 33 seconds played in the second period. The Wheat Kings do like to stretch the ice out sometimes to try and send Marcus Wynn in alone. If anybody on the Oil Kings is going to see that coming, it is going to be Josh Morey. They played hundreds of games together with the Portland Winterhawks.
Yeah, you know, absolutely, you know, and you know, when they pre-scout for these games here, you know that that's one of the things that, you know, the Wheat Kings are going to be known for, and so of course the Oil Kings make adjustments.
Peter for the draw on the near side of the Wheat Kings zone. Clean win. Luke Shipley up the near side away from Adam Yeko. Leads the Wheat Kings to center. The right-hander flips it up the middle to Peter. To the far side for Turco to skate onto. Turco fires and he ripped it high. Up the near side. Ronald blasts it back down low. Behind the Oil King net. Alkos is on it first. Lost it to Peter. Peter bouncing this back to the left point for Ronald. Ronald from the left point goes on to Peter at the left circle. Peter down the board. Sends it out front. Save Worthington. And through the screen of Hadland, he hangs on. So each goaltender's faced a tough test, and we're only 55 seconds into the second period.
Well, Brady Turco with a real good opportunity, but there's the difference when you shoot the puck and you try to elevate a little bit too much there. And Turco, I think the puck might have been just hopping on him a little bit, but he lets that shot go from a wide angle, and of course it misses the net and then wraps all the way around. Whereas if you keep it down low, there's always a chance for a rebound if the goaltender tends to kick it out into that blue paint area.
The faceoff will be brought to the right of Worthington on the near side of Oil Kings territory. And Jackson Jacobson, who set up the Wheat Kings goal in the first period, will take it. He wins the draw back to Bame. From the left point, Bame sends this on goal, steered away by Worthington. Up the near boards. Wheat Kings try to win it down low. Jacobson in the corner, lost it to Roarsma as it kicked back to the line. Bame holds the left point again. Dumped down the near side and around the net. Ta'amu on it for Edmonton. Drops it off to Alkos. Baumüller crunches him on the near side. Alkos stays on his feet and stays on the puck as Gavin and Baumüller try to lift it out. Baumüller did for a moment. It's right back into the scrum. Baumüller claims it again from the left circle. Baumüller fanned on his shot. It's worked back to the near side. Baumüller will dump it back in with 18:35 to go in the second. To the far side, it's picked up by Tomu of the Oil Kings and steered back towards the Wheat King line. Belushko knocks it down. He'll carry in wide on Rorsma. Up the right side, Belushko from the right circle. Drives the inside and throws it back door. He missed Gavin. Off the boards and all the way to center where Quinn Manti scoops it up. He'll reset for the Wheat Kings. Manti with some runway. Driving past Rorsma up the far side. He'll lift the backhander in as the Wheat Kings change early in the second. Alkos of Edmonton to center for Craik. Tipped into the Wheat Kings zone, but he was on the wrong side of center, and so it'll be icing against the Oil Kings. The Oil Kings have dipped their toe into the MJHL's waters for this game. Ryan Gower, who's been playing with the Neepawa Titans of the MJHL, is here, and so are the entire Titan squad.
Oh, that's pretty cool. And, you know, I see Ken Pearson also with the organization as coach and general manager downstairs watching his guys, so kind of a cool thing to see that.
Face-off on the near side of the Oil Kings zone. Peter, Michaels, and Zacharias for the Wheat Kings following an icing against Edmonton. Rorsma to take the draw for the Oil Kings. He moves a little too quickly. He's given a warning. Rorsma and Peter will try that draw again. Both men left-handed. 18:07 to go in the second. We're tied at 1. Peter wins it back to Manti from the left point. Manti drags, outweights Craik and comes down the near side. Manti from the left circle, throws it across, knocked away by Tomu. Wheat Kings hold the zone. Peter to the far corner, shielding it on his backhand. Leaves it on the far side. It comes up front to Michaels, but Rorsma with a good read takes it for Edmonton. Over the red line, Rorsma to the near side, Craik. He's poke checked but stays on it. His shot steered away by Bjarnason, and Michaels finds the rebound, leading the Wheat Kings on a counter. Over the red line, Michaels knocks this in. Lee goes back for it for Edmonton. Behind the Oil Kings net, lost it to Peter. Chopped up the near side. Zacharias on it for the Wheat Kings. He's boxed out by Sawchyn. Lucas Sawchyn spins back to buy some time and works back to the right of that Oil King net. Shoveled around the far boards. Fiddler is on it with 2.5 gone in this second period. His pass to the middle finds Lucas Sawchyn. Legging it over the red line. He's stripped of the puck by Nick Johnson. Poke checked by Gracyn Sawchyn, who reclaims it for Edmonton. He'll make a tightrope walk move and wind to his left. Sawchyn had his pass blocked by Flamin right back to him. He'll steer it to Fiddler in Oil King territory. From the middle of his own zone, Fiddler to the far side for Lucas Sawchyn. He'll drop it off on the far side for Gracyn. Over the Wheat King blue line, poke checked and then slammed into the glass by Quinn Manti. On the far boards, Lucas picks it up. Dumped into Wheat King territory. Bjarnason's out to play it with 3 minutes gone in the second. Turned it over to Woodward on the near side. Sped back out for a shot. Bjarnason shuts the wickets. Pantelis chased by Woodward out the far side of his net to the near side, but Manti wasn't there yet. He'll have to catch up to it and blast it out to the neutral zone. Nick Johnson trying to feed the middle on his backhand. He's hit by Sawchyn, but keeps on going. Over the Oil King blue line, thrown across to Wynn at the right circle. Wynn steps in from the circle and shoots put wide. Up the near side, Johnson's on the rebound. Got run at, but made the handoff anyway. Down the near side boards to Nolan Flamin. He swats it around the wall to Shipley on the far side. From the right point, back down low. Flamin left it behind the net, trying to find Nick Johnson. Morey came up with it for the Oil Kings, and they'll break out. Through center they come. Pass too far. Ronald knocks it down for the Wheat Kings. Flamin able to poke this back into Oil King territory up the near side. Morey now behind the Oil King net out the far side. Drops it off to Parker Alkos as the Wheat Kings make another change. 16:10 to go in the second. We're tied at 1. Yeko for the Oil Kings. Stops on a dime. Outweights Turco and winds patiently to his left, handing it off for Morey in the Oil Kings zone. Morey chased by Turco, back to the far wall. Turco wraps him up and pins him. Wheat Kings getting numbers into the pile. Peter came up with a puck for a moment, lost it to Hodnett. Through center he comes. Yeko flipping this softly ahead for Hodnett to skate onto on the far side. Icing waved off. Hodnett feeds it out front. The Wheat Kings are the only men there, and they'll look the other way. Turco with a step up the near side, breaks in and drives the middle. Turco waits and feeds it on to Shipley, joining the attack, knocked away from him. Peter able to force it down low. First to it is Fiddler of the Oil Kings in the far corner. He'll spin loose from Peter, twisting his way back down to Adam Yeko. Yeko to the near side for Gower. From the right circle, thrown to center, right to the tape of Hodnett. Over the Wheat King blue line, he leaves it for Hansen, who drives the middle. Hansen to his backhand, sends it across to the far side. Baumüller pokes it away, and Baumüller's pass will find Hadland. Quickly to Jacobson, one-on-one with Gower. Jacobson breaks in wide to his right. Gower stood him up. Jacobson trying to win the battle back. It goes in on Worthington. They jounced away for it, but as the Wheat Kings kick it loose, the whistle blows a little early with 15:13 to go in the second. We remain tied at 1. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5 and CHL Live and YouTube for those joining us for Wednesday night in the Dub.
Well, we're seeing end-to-end action, much like we saw through the first period, a real entertaining first period with both teams having great chances, yet only one goal to show for it until the Wheat Kings were able to tie it with a fraction of a second left to end the first period.
Face off to Worthington's left between Jacobson and Rorsma. Jacobson won it to the far side. Belushko from the right point, drags and fires, tipped just wide. Up the near side, Miller for Edmonton. Pounds it up the boards and out to center. Aginla got chased back into his own zone. Wheat Kings kept it onside. Jacobson on the far boards, throws it across. Rorsma picked it off. He fell before he could spring Miller. Iginla reclaims it for Edmonton. Wide to his left over the Wheat King blue line. Onto the far boards, Iginla on his backhand. Shakes loose as he plays it up the near side. Gavin there first for the Wheat Kings. He'll steer it low to Bam as Miller's in his face. Oil Kings hold the zone. Roersma from the right circle trying to dance his way to the front of the net. On his backhand, feeds it up front. Bjarnason the save. Ball Mueller to the near side finds Gavin, but the puck will not settle for him. And Morey will pick it back up for Edmonton. Back into his own zone and quickly back to center. Handed off for Miller up the far side. Miller walks in and fires. Bjarnason the save. Miller on the far boards tracking his own rebound. Works it down low. Oil Kings came up with it for a moment. Gavin knocked it away for the Wheat Kings. Jacobson had his pass go off of Miller and into the Wheat King bench with 14:21 to go in the second. Shots are 19-14 for the Oil Kings. Your shots for Kyle Ryan, Denture Clinic, and we've got a bit of a skate malfunction from the looks of it as Bam has to be helped off the ice by his teammates, dragging one useless blade behind him.
Yeah, it just seems to be such a common thing that we have to witness now. When the player loses the blade, they just can't get off the ice on their own here, and that's exactly what Nigel Bam just went through. He had to get an escort to get him back to the bench as he lost some of the metal off of his one skate.
Both the Wheat Kings and Oil Kings are playing with 11 forwards tonight. Michaels, Hadlin, and Zacharias for the Wheat Kings, and Michaels wins the draw. Manti on the near side dumps it in all the way around the Oil Kings zone. Fiddler steers it back behind his net. Zacharias unable to get there on the forecheck as it's sent up the near side. Manti holds the left point. To Zacharias in the near corner, bounce back to Michaels. He'll shoot through traffic, hit his own man and never got all the way through, and Too Good will scoop it up for Edmonton. Too Good bounces it to Yeko at center. Pantelis stands in his way, allowing Manti to get the puck. Manti on the far side, now at the near side, getting lined up but slipped the check and made it to Michaels. Michaels lost it to Yeko. Manti takes it right back for the Wheat Kings and starts their breakout. Michaels will drive over the Oil King blue line to the far side, Hadlin. Back at the right point, Pantelis slaps it down low. Yeko picks that off, and he'll stop up on the far side, hit Zacharias in the seat of the pants. Wheat Kings dump it right back in. Scrambly play here in the second period, tied at 1 as Lee collects for Edmonton behind his cage. To the far side for Fiddler. From the left circle, quickly ahead to Gracyn Sawchyn, fresh off the bench. Driving his way ahead over the Wheat King blue line. Lost it to Marcus Wynn, who works back the other way. Dodging Gracyn Sawchyn. Wynn drives the middle with speed. Wide to his right. Wynn all the way to the far side. Throws it up front to Johnson for a shot saved by Worthington. Shipley after the rebound. Has it lifted past him, but he throws it to the middle. Wynn from the left circle, a shot, scores! 30 goals on the season, 100 in his career. It's a milestone marker for Marcus Wynn.
And Marcus Wynn doing the smart move there. He just circles by the face-off dot. He's got Parker Elkos of the Edmonton Oil Kings right in his lane, so he uses him as a screen, and there's no way that Alex Worthington could have picked that shot up with the big body of Parker Elkos right in front of him, and Marcus Wynn using that, throws that puck over the shoulder and into the back of the net.
In his first game back, Jackson Jacobson got an assist in the first period, and Luke Shipley in his return to the lineup will pick up an assist on Marcus Wynn's go-ahead goal. He is the first Wheat King to 30 this season, and that is 100 goals in his WHL career. It's Peter, Hadlin, and Turco against Hansen, Yeko, and Hodnett, the forward matchup, and the Wheat Kings win the draw. So cleanly, in fact, it goes all the way back into their zone. Ronald out the far side of his net on the Turco, tapped to the middle, and Peters out to center ice. Hadlin breaks in with speed, dodging Alkos as Hadlin drives right to the cooker. He sends it on goal, save, rebound, Hadlin robbed by Worthington with a left pad. Yeko collects the rebound. He'll drive wide to his left as again we trade chances. Yeko to center with speed. Dumps it to the far side. Hodnett will send this in wide of Bjarnason. Ronald first to it on the near side. Hooks it up to Hadlin. Dominic Peter now throwing it to center. Turco catches up to it and one hands it ahead to himself. Fiddler tracking back on the near side for Edmonton wins the battle as Turco rams him into the wall. Peter comes in to help and he takes the puck. Sends it out to Gavin from the right circle. Gavin fires steered away as Worthington makes the stick save. Yeko flips it to center for Hodnett on a 2-on-2 for the Oil Kings. Over the Wheat King blue line into the near corner. Hodnett forced to his backhand around the net, taken down by Manti. Up the far boards it comes. Hodnett taken off it by Manti now. He'll come back behind the Wheat King net and settle things down. Manti escapes the forecheck of Miller again. Pantelis on the far side up to Gavin over the Oil King blue line. For Turco at the end of a shift, he'll send this deliberately wide. Gavin goes after it, comes up with it on the near side. Gracyn Sawchyn's right in his way, and the Oil Kings take the puck. Miller will drive his way to center for Edmonton, right up the middle. He flips this into the Wheat King zone to Bjarnason's left. Roersma hard to the forecheck is there first for Edmonton. Up the near side to Sawchyn. Back down low at pinballs out front, and Bjarnason decides not to take any chances. He'll hang on with 11:53 to go in the second. Wheat Kings up 2-1 on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5. Marcus Wynn with a snapshot from the top of the left circle has put the Wheat Kings on top for the first time in this game, and a huge goal for him personally. 30 goals on the season, 100 in his WHL career, and now just 1 point away from 200 in his Western Hockey League career. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. Moments after the Wheat Kings got the 2-1 lead, Caleb Hadlin very nearly extended it. Worthington with an excellent save at the other end. The puck is now down to our right for a face-off to Carson Bjarnason's left. It'll be Jacobson against Sawchyn as again the Oil Kings rolling through lines and getting Gracyn Sawchyn on the ice at every opportunity. Jacobson beats him to the draw. Turned over to Roersma in the near corner, fed back up front. Sawchyn spins and fires. Bjarnason the save. Rebound. Sawchyn finds it first. He'll go behind the Wheat King net. Sawchyn patiently, dangerously, holding his men off. Flips it back to the far side. From the left point, Gower drags, throws it down low to Sawchyn on the far side. Sawchyn works it back door, and he just missed Roersma. Roersma catches up to it, bounces it back to the line for Morey. Right back to Roersma at the right circle. Working up the boards, he's bodied by Pantelis, but makes the handoff. Big Miller works around the net for the Oil Kings, all the way to the far side. From the left circle, he goes around the umbrella and shoots. Bjarnason fights it off with the blocker. Pinching up his Gower to the far side. Stays on his feet against the check of Baumüller. It's one-handed away by Manti. Miller catches right back up to it for Edmonton. Wheat Kings poke it to the line, held by Morey. Spun to the near side. Sawchyn's on it first. He'll hook it back to the top. Morey from the right point. Sends it back down the wall. Sawchyn's poke checked again, and this time Manti takes it. He's just going to send this all the way down the ice to relieve the pressure with 9 minutes played in the second period. Every time he's on the ice, Gracyn Sawchyn is a threat, and with that in mind, you can see why the Oil Kings are getting him out so often.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, he's dangerous every time he's out there, and that's his. He's the reason why there was that pressure built up in the Brandon Wheat Kings zone there. A lot of good opportunities for the Oil Kings as they try to tie this game up.
Faceoff will be brought to the left of Carson Bjarnason. Jackson Jacobson to take it after the icing against Hansen of the Oil Kings. Hansen wins it back to the right point for Lee. Down the near boards, hands it off to Yeko from the right circle, thrown around to the far side. Hodnett. Hodnett goes back down to the near side. Hansen off the goal line, a save by Bjarnason. Rebound flung down the ice by Quinn Manti. And again, this will be icing against the Wheat Kings, who are withstanding a bit of a siege now from Edmonton with 10:43 to go in the second.
Yeah, this is unusual for the Brandon Wheat Kings to see them just grab the puck on their stick at the full length of the ice and just relieve the pressure. 2 times in a row here over the last minute, they've had to do just that with that puck sitting around the blue paint. They had to get it down the length of the ice and force a face-off.
Face-off won by the Oil Kings again. Lee from the right point to the near side. Yeko around the Wheat King net. Pantelis able to poke him off the puck. Hansen picks it up. Jacobson tries to drag him to the wall, but it's claimed by Hodnett from the right circle. Hodnett throws it across for a shot. Bjarnason the blocker save. Alkos up the near side against some tired Wheat Kings. He'll win it all the way to the middle. Alkos from the slot, drags, holds, throws it off. Blocked by Jacobson, and the Wheat Kings get a break and get to center. Baumüller over the blue line, wide to his right, dumps this in, and all 3 forwards peel off on a needed change. 10:15 to go in the second. Oil Kings winding it up. Lee fakes the pass, carries over the red line, and dumps it into Bjarnason's right. Belushko on the rebound, chops it away from an on-rushing Yeko. Yeko able to recover to the near corner, sent hard up the boards, held by Fiddler from the right point. Fiddler works down the wall, making moves on Zacharias. He'll move to the inside. Fiddler along the umbrella, peels back on the far wall. He'll go all the way to the near side. Tamu, a long-range shot, and Carson Bjarnason snares that. Since the goal by Marcus Wynn, Bjarnason's been the hero for the Wheat Kings, stopping the 25th of 26 shots sent his way.
Yeah, Carson Bjarnason's been busy here to start this second period, even though it's the Wheat Kings that have taken the lead here. Real good effort. Elkos comes very close to tying this hockey game after a real nice feed from Gavin Hodnett, but again, Bjarnason there to make the save.
The faceoff will remain in Wheat King territory. Shots now 26-20, favoring the Oil Kings. Your shots for Kyle Ryan Denture Clinic, but the Wheat Kings will at least be able to get fresh legs. And Dominic Peter wins the draw. Luke Shipley on the near side, spins back, harassed by Lucas Sawchyn. Dylan Ronald comes in to help for the Wheat Kings. Up the near boards, he spins back with a Ginla right in his face. Backhanded around the net to Shipley. Shipley out the near side, wrapped up, but does come to Ronald. Zacharias on the near side. From his own left circle, flips it to center. It hit a boot and came right back to Gower. Steered to the middle, Ronald pokes it away for the Wheat Kings to the far side of center. Brandon resets with Shipley on the right side of his own zone. Back to Michaels in the neutral zone. He'll break through center, wide to his right on Amu. Into the far corner, Mateo Michaels on his forehand, carrying around the net with speed. Michaels all the way to the top of the umbrella. Feeds Shipley at the right point. With traffic, Shipley sends this wide, tipped off of Peter to the near side boards. Michaels goes after it. Sawchyn golfs it past him and all the way into the Oil King bench. That'll bring about a face-off in Edmonton territory with 9:08 to go in the middle frame. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. Marcus Wynn has the Wheat Kings ahead 2-1.
Yeah, Marcus Wynn, his 30th goal of the year, and it was a beauty. You know, he's got such a great shot that he gets away so fast, and again, uses an Oil King screen and gets it over the shoulder of the goaltender Worthington, who's just been outstanding tonight.
Flamin, Wynn, Johnson, Bam, and Belushko for an offensive zone draw for the Wheat Kings. Gracyn Sawchyn again for the Oil Kings on the ice. Wheat Kings win it to the near side. Wynn dancing his way to the near corner, still in control. To the left point, Bam. Over to the far side, Belushko. From the right point, he'll move to the middle. Back to Bam at the left side. Bam sends this through traffic, redirected by Flamin. Worthington, another good save. Flamin wins the battle down low to the far corner. Fiddler after it for the Oil Kings. Up the boards to Roarsma, turned over to Nick Johnson. He'll drive the middle. Johnson wide to his left, had it kicked off his tape, and Morey will collect it for the Oil Kings. From his own right circle, the former Winterhawk goes ahead. Too far for Gracyn Sawchyn, but no icing on the play. Bame to the left of the Wheat King net. Sends it up the far boards. Wynn is on it. He'll spin back. Belushko's pass picked off. It comes to Miller for a shot wide of the net as Bame got a stick on it. Gracyn Sawchyn sends this back off a body to Miller at the right circle. Twisting his way up the boards, pursued by Flamin, who stays right with him. Fiddler from the right point throws it down the near side. Roarsma picks it up from the right circle. Roarsma to his forehand. Poke check by Bjarnason. He ran Bjarnason over, and Belushko collects the puck. The Wheat Kings are going to go to the man advantage. Johnson through center. Surrounded by Oil Kings. He drops it off to Belushko, leading the charge. He'll peel back into Wheat King territory to reset. Nearly hit his goaltender. That would have been the second collision with Bjarnason this shift. Dropped off to Nolan Flamin. 8:03 to go in the second period. Marcus Wynn driving through center. Wide to his right on Hodnett. Drops it off neatly to Dominic Peter. He'll send this on to Flamin at the right circle. Back to Peter at the top. Delayed call coming against the Oil Kings. Flamin taps it back to Shipley. Along the umbrella, Shipley to Flamin in the far corner. Flamin out to Wynn. Back to Flamin. On the far side, he feeds Shipley at the right point. Shipley to the middle for Wynn. No point shot from him yet. He'll move to the near side. Belushko from the left point down the boards to Peter. Back to Johnson. A shot save Worthington. And as the Oil Kings collect the rebound, at last we get our first power play of the game. It's going to go the Wheat Kings' way, and there was not much doubt about this one.
No, not the way the game is called these days. And, you know, you try to teach your players not to be afraid to drive hard to the net. It's a skill, and you got to be able to do it. You want to go be hard-nosed and drive hard to the net. Rylan Roarsma does everything right in that regard. He's driving hard to the net, tries to make a play in tight, and there's not much he can do about it. His momentum is going to carry into the goaltender, but that's just how the call is made these days, and Roarsma goes off for 2 minutes.
Jacobson, Hadland, Gavin, Shipley, and Michaels for the Wheat Kings. Oil King penalty kill comes in, the best in the WHL, and they win the draw. Morey lifts this high down the ice. It'll skip its way into Wheat King territory with 7.5 to go in the second. Bjarnason has to leave it there as it's outside the trapezoid. Luke Shipley will pick it up. Shipley skates his way ahead, wide to his right to the neutral zone. Drops it back to Mateo Michaels. Through center with speed. Michaels over the Oil King blue line. Charges into the far corner on Morey. Michaels around the net. Surrounded by Oil Kings, he wins it up the near side. Hadland holds the left point. Hadland works it down low to Gavin. Back to Hadland at the left side. He'll move it to Shipley in the middle with traffic. Shipley walks to the inside. He'll drag it away from Sawchyn. Hooked back to Gavin at the top of the umbrella. To the far side, Jacobson. Aggressive PK by the Oil Kings. Shipley from the left circle. He'll stop up and hold the left point. Throw it down low to Michaels. Michaels up the near side. Spins back on Sawchyn. From that left wall, Michaels patiently works it down the boards onto Jacobson's tape. From the bottom of the left circle, Jacobson waits, throws it across to Gavin on the far side, back to Shipley. He spins it onto the near side. Jacobson able to glove it, and he'll carry down the boards. His pass to the middle, though, picked off by Woodward, who sends it all the way down the ice. We're into the back half of Roarsma's minor, as the Wheat Kings can't really touch that puck. They would have been caught with too many. Bjarnason sent it up ice too quickly, and the Wheat Kings power play is going to come to an abrupt end with 57 seconds to go in it, as Bjarnason tried to move the puck in a hurry, but his mates were changing, and that left the Wheat Kings with 6 men on the ice.
Yeah,
or did it?
You know, when you're trying to move that puck up the ice real quick as a goaltender, you have to be kind of conscious of the fact that if your team's making a change, that's where it can get real tricky. And it looked like the Wheat Kings were going to be called with too many men. Now, we're not seeing any penalty boxes opened here, so we'll wait and see.
There were 5 men on the ice, and the Wheat Kings are giving a bit of a sarcastic round of applause there. You could see 5 Wheat Kings on the ice in the frame, but it's hard to tell if there would have been a 6th guy out there as well. I think we are going to see some 4-on-4 here as Flamin, Pantelis, Wynn, Manti are on the ice against Miller, Hansen, Lee, and Fiddler. Wheat Kings thought they might have been able to dodge that there with somebody getting over the boards, but somebody just didn't hop off the ice fast enough. So we'll get 57 seconds of 4-on-4 with 6:34 to go in the second period. Flamin, Wynn, Pantelis, and Manti against Miller, Hansen, Lee, and Fiddler for the Oil Kings. Face off on the near side of the Wheat Kings zone, and now one linesman is backing his way to center. Marcus Wynn is going with him. Not sure what the story is there. Wynn's now headed to the penalty box for the Wheat Kings. Maybe he crossed a line there. Might be the Oil Kings are about to get a 4-on-3 here.
I am not sure what's going on there, and you know, we're not getting a lot of flack from the Wheat Kings bench as far as upset coaches or anything like that, so I'm not sure what exactly is going on here.
This might be a 10-minute misconduct to Marcus Wynn because it is 4 Wheat Kings on the ice. So for 57 seconds, we'll get 4-on-4, as we had initially thought with 6:34 to go in the second. Wheat Kings win the defensive zone draw. Manti behind his net, watched by Cole Miller. Up the near side to Nolan Flamin. Pantelis ahead to the near side, Manti. Manti over the line to his left. Manti drives into the near corner, slams on the brakes, and feeds the line for Flamin. Hard across to Pantelis on the right side. Pantelis down to Gavin. They'll trade spots. To the near side, Quinn Manti from the left point. He dodges his way inside, all the way to the right circle. Manti drags, throws it across for Gavin. Robbed by Worthington as he came across with the blocker. Gavin still on the rolling puck. It's poked past him up the near side with 1:28 to go in the Oil Kings power play. 22 seconds, of course, until 4-on-4 expires. Miller chips it in for Edmonton to the near corner. Around the net, away from Gio Pantelis. Wheat Kings take the puck, and Quinn Manti is on it. Winding it way ahead at the right circle. Manti spins back with Adam Yeko right in his face. Wheat Kings are changing. Just 6 seconds away now from being on the kill. Yeko peels back to allow Manti some time. He'll settle the puck down and find Dylan Ronald on the near side as the Wheat Kings are officially on the PK for a minute more. Michaels breaks in and leaves it for Dominic Peter. Back to Michaels at the left circle. Michaels out to Peter. Skate to stick. Save Worthington. Peter on the rebound. Shovels the backhander down the ice to Ronald to rag the puck. To the far side for Luke Shipley. 49 seconds to go in the Oil King power play. Wheat Kings break back in. Michaels feeds the middle for Dominic Peter, and it hops on him at the last second. Peter rags the puck again. Back into the Wheat King zone. Shipley's got a hustle with Sawchyn bearing down on him. Shipley picks it up. Around the Wheat King net at the far side. Slams on the brakes. He'll find Ronald, and Dylan Ronald will fire this down the ice. Back into Oil Kings territory it goes. 30 seconds to go in the too many men on the ice call. Sawchyn for the Oil Kings skates his way ahead, fighting off Peter's stick check over the Wheat King blue line, making moves, lost it to Michaels. Michaels will drive the middle and find the far side. Shipley leads the breakout shorthanded over the Oil King blue line. Shipley drives the middle, dropped it off to Peter, but he's poke checked. Michaels follows up to the slot for a shot at the post. Rebound to the far side, claimed by Edmonton. Wheat Kings have got to hustle back. 8 seconds in the power play. Hodden it over the line, wide to his left. From the left circle, Hodden it drops it back to Yeko. Yeko makes a move on Dominic Peter from the left circle. Yeko walks in and fires, ripped it high. As we're back to 5-on-5, the puck exits play with 4:31 to go in the second. End-to-end action, and still a 2-1 Wheat Kings lead on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5. Wheat Kings will have to do without Marcus Wynn, their most recent goal scorer for the rest of this period following a 10-minute misconduct. They do still lead 2-1. Their power play got sawed in half by a too many men on the ice call, and then when they were on the kill, Mateo Michaels rang iron. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. A goaltending display tonight from both Worthington and Bjarnason.
Oh, it absolutely is. I mean, there have just been all kinds of scoring chances. I mean, it's a fun and entertaining game to watch, but both goaltenders are putting on a clinic.
In the absence of Marcus Wynn, Joby Bom joins the unit with Nick Johnson and Nolan Flamin. Face off on the far side of the Wheat Kings zone. Rorsma, Miller, and Hansen together now for Edmonton, who are themselves down a forward playing with 11 tonight. Wheat Kings get the draw. Bame out the near side to the left of his net, finds Nick Johnson quickly to center for Baummuller. He'll tip this in and go in after it as Alkos wraps him up. Worthington, who's been stellar, is out to play it. Up the far boards, Rorsma collects it. Flipped ahead, got past Nick Johnson. Rorsma on the far side recollects. To Alkos, widening to his right. Up the near boards to Hansen. He's poke checked, forced to dump it. Belushko closes it off for the Wheat Kings. Spun to the middle. It just missed Rorsma. He'll catch up to it in the far corner for Edmonton. Around the Wheat King net on his forehand. Rorsma from the right circle throws it across for a shot. Bjarnason, the big left pad save. Maury at the rebound, punched away by Bjarnason. Baummuller on the far side sends it low for the Wheat Kings. Belushko is there behind the Brandon net. Out the far side to Baummuller on a quick breakout. Baummuller through center with speed, wide to his right. Over the Oil King blue line. Baummuller sends it on goal. Pad save, rebound. Flamin couldn't corral it as he was tied up by Craig. Back come the Oil Kings, led by Too Good. Over the Wheat King blue line. Wide to his left. He'll throw it across. Hit the boot of Johnson. And Brandon's looking for a counter now. Flamin one-on-one with Gower. Breaks in with a nifty move. Gower sticks right with him and takes him off the puck. On the near side, Johnson and Flamin join the pile as Baummuller got knocked down by Craig with 3.5 to go in the second. Wheat Kings up 2-1. Scrum develops just in front of the Oil King bench. Baumuller's down. Flamin wins the battle and dumps it into the Oil King zone. And some tired Wheat Kings forwards will go to a change. 3:17 left in the second. Wheat Kings ahead by 1. Fiddler firing it to center for Joe Aginla. Over the Wheat King blue line, tries to split the defense, got stripped of the puck instead, and Turco looks up ice. Dominic Peter feathers it on to Hadland. Over the Oil King blue line, wide to his left, into the near corner to Peter for a shot, calmly steered away at the rebound, try, scores! Gio Pantelis leapt up to join the attack. Wheat Kings lead 3-1.
And again, it's the importance of a nice low shot. And this one here, Worthington plays with his stick, but he gives out that juicy rebound. Gio Pantelis, cheating in from the blue line, is able to pounce on that opportunity, and he has nothing but a wide open net, and he blasts that puck home.
It's 2 rookie defensemen sandwiching a goal by a veteran forward to put the Wheat Kings up 3-1 in the second period. And boy, has this been a shooting gallery. Shots are 30-29 in favor of the Oil Kings. Your shots for Kyle Ryan Denture Clinic. That'll be Pantelis' 4th of the season. Dominic Peter and Caleb Hadland likely getting the assists on that one, and they'll stay on the ice with Shipley and Manti, as well as Brady Turco. It's Peter and Hansen for the draw. 3:01 to go in the second, and the Wheat Kings win it. Hadland in with speed, wide on Alcos, who pokes it neatly off his tape. Dumped around the far side of the Oil Kings zone. Peters on it first. Back up the line. Shipley goes to a knee to hold the zone and finds Peter. Sped down low. It misses Turco. Up the near side it comes. Alcos for the Oil Kings. Firing it ahead right to the tape of Hansen. Through center with speed. Over the Wheat King blue line. He's poke check. Peter takes it away for the Wheat Kings and looks ahead. Turco makes a move on Tom, who dropped it off to Peter, who tries to drive the middle, but the Oil Kings swarm back on him. Hodding it for Edmonton, firing this off the end boards to send Hansen ahead. Hansen catches up to it, carries around the net, wraps it back out front. Wheat Kings were back defensively. Hadland takes it on the near side and fires it ahead. Glove down by Yeko. Wide to his left. He'll peel back at the left point and buy some time. Fired through traffic high and wide. Sent back to the line for Lee. From the right point for the Oil Kings, quickly to the left for Morey. Dodging down the far boards, he falls. Turco takes the puck, and Luke Shipley's able to claim it for the Wheat Kings to start an odd man rush. Manti feathers this into the Oil Kings zone and goes for a change. 2:05 to go in the second. Wheat Kings up by a pair. Oil Kings trying to catch them on the change. Gracyn Sawchyn winds it up. Wide to his left through center. Over the red line, softly, high in the air. Good touch to send it into the far corner. Belush goes after it for the Wheat Kings. Up the near side boards. Baumüller tries to claim it. He's right into the wall by Lucas Sawchyn. Puck comes free and is sent ahead to Jacobson, and the Wheat Kings can break out. Jacobson as the Wheat Kings come 3 wide. Over the blue line, waits for an opening. Jacobson to Baumüller for a shot saved by Worthington. He juggled it, but he held the rebound with 1:39 to go in the second period. It is Pantelis from Peter and Hadland. So all 3 intact forward units are now on the board for the Wheat Kings.
Yeah, and that's what you like to see. You want to see the scoring spread throughout your lineup. You want to see some secondary scoring, and so for this, at this point in the game, that's real good stuff for the Brandon Wheat Kings.
Face off on the near side of the Oil Kings zone. Jacobson and Sawchyn to take it. Jacobson has Baumüller behind him. Draw one out of some feet to Gavin, and he rifled it wide. Belushko holds the right point for the Wheat Kings. Down the far boards to Baumüller from the right circle. Baumüller down low to Gavin on the far side, spinning back to Shed Lee. Gavin makes a move, still in control. Gavin up the far side to Belushko from the right point. Belushko sends this through traffic, put it just wide. Up the near boards, Lucas Sawchyn on it. Driven to the wall by Jacobson. Oil Kings collect it nonetheless. Morey flips it up the boards. It's swept to the middle, and Lucas Sawchyn will skate onto it. The younger Sawchyn carries to center. Flipped ahead, trying to find his brother, and does. Over the Wheat King blue line, Sawchyn tried to drive the net. Bame was right in his way and knocked him off the puck. Wheat Kings take it thanks to Belushko, who scored their first of the game. Up the far boards to Baumüller. In and out of his feet, he's getting run at by Woodward. Drives it up the wall. It's sent right back down low in the final minute of the second. Bame behind the Wheat King net as Brandon changes. So does Edmonton. So Nigel Bame will have a little bit of time. Miller flushes him out to the near side. Miller all over him as Bame pounds it ahead. Roersma keeps it onside from the right wall. Roersma walks in, blocked by Bame. Roersma after his own rebound, harassed by Flamin. Lifted out front to Miller on his backhand from the right circle. Miller drives back to the top along the umbrella, wide to his left. Miller with speed, trying to cut back to the goal. Poke check by Flamin before he could. Miller on the far side, ridden off the puck. Mateo Michaels takes it for the Wheat Kings, and Flamin twists his way to center ice. Johnson can't corral it, but neither can the Oil Kings. Fiddler picks it back up on the near side. Hard up the boards and on to Miller at center. He'll wind back and turn it over to Flamin from the left circle. To Shipley in the middle, pinching in. He'll drive to his left all the way to the corner. Shipley on the near side. Stops on a dime and waits for an opening. He'll send this down low. First to it is Tomu of the Oil Kings. Up the near side for Fiddler. 6 seconds to go. Johnson trying to lift it out. It's coming up the near boards. Past Shipley and down the ice. There'll be no last second heroics for the Wheat Kings this time, but they won't need any. They're going to go to the dressing room leading 3-1 with the shots even at 30 as Roersma and Shipley are into it a bit on the far side. Not much Shipley can do as far as fisticuffs are concerned, wearing the full bubble, and I think he and Roersma know one another too well for that to be a possibility.
Absolutely. Oh, real good period for the Brandon Wheat Kings. You know, I thought they did a better job cutting down on the turnovers in their own end. And this time it seemed to be the Oil Kings that were having those struggles in their own zone. And, the Brandon Wheat Kings pounced on a couple of great opportunities, and they take the lead in this hockey game.
Still lots of shots, but it's only the Wheat Kings getting on the board in the second period. They lead 3-1 as we go to our second intermission on Q Country 91.5. And in that second intermission, we'll hear from Jacobson, who got on the board on the first Wheat Kings goal of the game, setting up Adam Belushko for the dagger with 0.4 seconds on the clock in the first period. Jacobson will talk not only about getting back into the lineup and in a competitive game, but about some of the amenities available to Wheat Kings who are rehabilitating injuries. That coming up in your second intermission on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5.
Alternative offers professional landscape design and installation, year-round yard maintenance, greenhouse and nursery, and excavation services. Alternative Landscaping. Check them out at the corner of 34th and Patricia or online at alternativegroup.ca. Let's send it down to Hayden. It's time for the Cal Tire Roll. Take it away, Hayden.
Thank you very much. All right, we are getting set here for the Cal Tire Roll. I have got Eric, Morley, Tyler, and Doug. They are going to get one practice roll. The whole goal of the game is to get your tire as close to center ice as you possibly can. The person who does that is going to walk away with the Cal Tire prize package. One practice roll. They're all going to practice roll at the same time, and then we're going to take individual shots, and those are the ones that count. All right, everyone ready for their practice roll? All right, send them in. Let's do it. Practice roll. Push it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Let's see it. Practice roll. You're good. Okay, none of them were great, but that's okay because that was the practice roll after all. So we'll push these tires back to them. And now these are the shots that count. We are going to start with Tyler over here at the far circle. Tyler, you can roll it in. I feel like that one might have a little bit too much juice on it, Tyler. All right, Doug is ready to go. This one's looking a little fast.
Still an absolute shooting gallery out there. The Wheat Kings with 30 shots, the Oil Kings with 31, but it's the Wheat Kings making good on theirs in the second period and nearly making good on others. It must be said, Alex Worthington has made some sensational saves in that Oil King net. You're back with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger on the second intermission on Q Country 91.5 and CHL Live. The scoring for the Wheat Kings started in the middle frame by Marcus Wynn. He took the handoff from Luke Shipley at the top of the left circle. Congratulations to Marcus on both his 30th of the season and his 100th of his career. Watching him play this season, Pete, there was never really a doubt he was going to score 30 if he was healthy.
Yeah, he's such a consistent player, and he's so fun to watch out there because, he's not a selfish guy. You can put him in any line you want, and he's going to go out there and perform to the best of ability. He's so good at distributing the puck and then jumping into open lanes to get that return pass. But when it's on his stick and if he's got a lane to that net, he's going to rifle that shot, and that's exactly what we saw from him tonight.
Wheat Kings gave themselves a bit of breathing room as the period went along. Dominic Peter took a shot that Worthington steered away, but the first man to the rebound was Gio Pantelis of the Wheat Kings, and he snapped it home to make it a 3-1 contest, where we now sit. As mentioned, shots are 31-30 in favor of the Oil Kings. Your shots are for Kyle Ryan Denture Clinic. This has been a wildly back-and-forth game. The Wheat Kings got robbed of a couple of goals. I thought Jordan Gavin was staring down the 4-1 tally until Worthington came across with a beautiful blocker save, and at the other end, Carson Bjarnason rock steady.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. And, you talk about Jordan Gavin, and, he's looking for his 20th goal this year, and he's had two almost identical opportunities where it looked like the goaltender Worthington was just out of the picture completely, and yet when Gavin released that shot, somehow that goaltender got there, and that's the kind of game it has been for the goaltenders. And of course, at the other end of the ice, Carson Bjarnason always performing to the best of his ability, keeping his team in it whenever the Edmonton Oil Kings had chances. He as well was making some real highlight reel saves out there. And so it's been a real entertaining game all around, with some end-to-end rushes, some quality scoring chances, but some exceptional goaltending as well.
The Wheat Kings got a contribution from Luke Shipley back in the lineup in that second period, but in the first period, it was Jackson Jacobson's smart shot that helped Adam Belushko tie the score at 1. So the Wheat Kings pretty glad to have both those guys back, as you'd expect. Jackson will join us to talk about getting through his injury when we return on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5.
Alrighty, I got Sherry here. Sherry's going to play Tempo Trivia. Ready to go? We're going to see some trivia questions up there. If you get them right, you're going to win a Tempo prize pack.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Let's see the questions. All right, question number 1. What is the color combination of the Tempo logo?
Blue and yellow.
She's going to go with blue and yellow. I don't know why we got the wrong buzzer. I'm pretty sure that's correct. All right, question number 2. What is the Tempo Rewards program called?
Is it Loyalty Love?
She's going to go with Loyalty Love. It's Westway Rewards. All right, one more question, Sherry. You're doing great. 1 out of 2 is not too bad. All right, question number 3. How many Tempo gas bar locations are in Western Canada?
82.
Ooh, she's going with 82, and it's 102. That's all right. That was close enough. Great job, Sherry. You're going to take home this Tempo prize package. Congratulations.
Marcus Wynn put the Wheat Kings up 2-1 with his 30th of the season, though it'll be a little while before the Wheat Kings see him again. He was assessed a 10-minute misconduct in that second period, and that was at 13:26, so still about 6.5 minutes served in that already. About 3.5 more, and he'll be ready to rejoin the Wheat Kings. Here with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger in our second intermission on Q Country 91.5. Win from Shipley was the goal in the second period, so Shipley gets on the board in his very first game back. But it was Belushko from Jacobson and Baummuller in the first period, so both guys coming back into the lineup for the Wheat Kings making an immediate impact. And the Wheat Kings missed Luke Shipley for obvious reasons. Their leading scorer among defensemen. Their clear-cut number one guy on the right side. Their leading goal scorer among defensemen, but it's underrated just how much good Jackson Jacobson has done for this group. Not only has he been about a point-per-game player, he's been regularly on the power play and has 2 game-winning goals this year, so no coincidence the Wheat Kings doing a little better offensively with him coming back into the lineup. I had a chance to ask Jackson about how he was feeling ahead of what's sure to be a competitive contest between the Wheat Kings and Oil Kings, and about jumping right back in with both feet.
Thanks to Progressive Westman, the official sponsor of the Brandon Wheat Kings Cleanup Brew. Okay, everybody, eyes to the big screen. It's time for the Alcor Resort Spa Conference Center Kiss Cam. It's still February. Everybody should be kind of romantic. Here's couple number 1 for the Kiss Cam. Kind of oblivious, I think. I don't think so. Couple number 2.
In both his game and his interviews, you can see a maturity in Jackson Jacobson. He gets an assist coming back into the lineup for the Wheat Kings, who lead 3-1 on the Oil Kings after 40 minutes. Here with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. And that comment about maturity, Pete, I would say goes for all 3 of the 2008-born players in the lineup: Gio Pantelis, Jackson Jacobson, and Nigel Bam.
Yeah, you know what? All 3 of those guys are just young men here. They joined this hockey team as 16-year-olds, and you know, the thing that you notice as the season goes on is how much they have to grow up, and they do grow up. And, you know, it's a credit to your leadership group to bring those young guys along at a nice, even pace. And those 3 guys have really matured as the season has went on. And, you know, if you center on Jackson Jacobson, of course, you know, 8 goals on the power play. Just as an example, he has 12 on the year, 8 on the power play, second most on the Brandon Wheat Kings. 11, of course, is the magic number Nolan Flamin has on the power play. So when you miss a guy like Jax Jacobson for that length of time, you would think that that's going to really hurt your power play, and obviously it does. But really, when you looked at the Wheat Kings and how they handled it without Jackson Jacobson, their power play was still pretty decent. So credit to the Wheat Kings for having enough depth to replace an injured player and have somebody else pick up the slack.
That said, both Jacobson and Shipley coming back to that one unit for the Wheat Kings really does change the chemistry of it and the dynamic. Their ability to fire the puck around the ice, and along with Jordan Gavin, who is a wizard with the puck, just means absolutely everybody is an option.
Yeah, well, Luke Shipley is such a great quarterback back there. And, you know, of course, you already have Quinn Manti, who had to log a lot of extra time, special teams and everything without Luke Shipley in the lineup. So it relieves a little bit of the heat off of Quinn Manti with Luke Shipley out there. Again, of course, Luke Shipley, very important on the power play and special teams, but also just getting out of your own zone on a regular basis. It's Luke Shipley or Quinn Manti with nearly always that perfect pass to get out of your own end of the ice. And again, as you work with these younger players in the state of Quinn Manti working with Gio Pantelis as a pairing, I mean, you're also teaching these young guys how to do it smart. Get your head up, get that first pass, tape to tape, nice and hard. You know, you're teaching and developing these young guys, and that's leading to their maturity overall.
Wheat Kings and Oil Kings with a 3-1 lead for the Wheat Kings going into the third period. The shots 31-30 for the Oil Kings. Both goaltenders have been strong, and they may very well need to be again in the final 20 minutes on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5.
I've got Sophie, I've got Murray down here. It's the J&G Homes Shoot to Win. Shot number 1, you get that in. That is for a 1-month pass to Good Life Fitness. Second shot's the big one. You hit that, you come back at the end of the year and shoot for a $400,000 property from J&G Homes. All right, you ready? All right. All right, shot number 1 for Sophie. Oh, don't slip. There you go. That was a little bit to the left. That's all right. It is slippery, I know, but that's all right. All right, shot number 2. This is the big one. You hit this, you come back at the end of the year. And that was very close, Sophie, but not quite. All right, Murray, it's your turn here. Got to hand up the stick there, Sophie. There you go. Perfect. All right, shot number 1 for Murray. It's going with a little bit of a slower method. I don't mind that. That was just to the right. All right, shot number 2. And I think that one's going to go to the right as well. That's all right, Murray, Sophie. Thank you guys for playing. That's a J&G Homes Shoots Away.
Step into your dream home this spring with J&G Homes as they invite you to explore 74 Hanlon Crescent at the 2025 Spring Parade of Homes, March 1st to the 23rd. Time now for your second period highlights brought to you by the Brandon Sun.
Another highlight pack chock full of big saves at both ends from both Worthington and Bjarnason, but the Wheat Kings were able to break through twice in that second period and lead 3-1 at the start of the third. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger on Q Country 91.5 as the Oil Kings come back to the ice and the Wheat Kings do the same. We're getting ready for period number 3 for Wednesday night in the Dub. But before we dive into the third period, we'll look in on the out-of-town scoreboard for Stride Credit Union. Ask us about options for term deposits and start saving. We've already got a final because the Calgary Hitmen and Swift Current Broncos are, oddly enough, started at noon today. And the Hitmen came away with a 3-0 win in that one. The Prince Albert Raiders were up 1-0 on the Lethbridge Hurricanes after 20, and so the score remains after 40. Meantime, the West Coast games, the Kelowna Rockets and Prince George Cougars, Portland Winterhawks and Kamloops Blazers, and Vancouver Giants and Spokane Chiefs have not yet begun. That is your out-of-town scoreboard for Stride Credit Union. Visit stridecu.ca and become a member today. Wheat Kings would love a little help on the out-of-town scoreboard, but they've got to take care of their own business first, and they lead the Oil Kings 3-1 at the start of the third. In this third period for Westman Communications Group, the Wheat Kings are off to my left. Carson Bjarnason, who stopped 30 of 31 so far tonight, is between the pipes. At the other end, similarly strong, 27 of 30 is Alex Worthington. Wheat Kings open up with Johnson, Flamin, and Michaels. Wynn is still serving a 10-minute misconduct for about 3.5 more minutes. Flamin and Gracyn Sawchyn for the draw. This time the Wheat Kings win it, and we are underway in the third. Pantelis sends it softly into Oil King territory. Fiddler behind the Oil King net out the far side. Flamin on it first for the Wheat Kings. Down to Johnson on the cycle. Worked back to the far side. Flamin shovels it around the near boards. Johnson and Morey both after it. Puck claimed by the Oil Kings. Woodward on the near side, pinned by Flamin. Flamin lifts it loose for Michaels. He's poke checked, but Flamin's on it again. Back to the right point, Pantelis. He drags along the outside to Manti at the left point. They'll trade places. Manti sends this deliberately wide. Johnson first to it. Spinning in the corner, he comes up with it, trying to shovel it back out front. It's knocked down by the Oil Kings and sent all the way down the ice. No icing on the play with 19:22 to go in the third. Pantelis goes back behind the Wheat King net. Hansen tracking him. Pantelis able to dodge. He'll fire this to center for Turco, who tips it neatly between his feet into Oil Kings territory. Tom, who speeds it across to the far side for the Oil Kings. Back to the near side, Yeko. In and out of his feet, he wins the battle to center. Pantelis for the Wheat Kings. Sends it back to Turco in flight. Winding it up over the Oil Kings zone. He tries to dance his way in. Got sat down by Alkos. And Tom, who takes the puck. Turned over to Peter at the left circle. Tap back to Hadlin. Hadlin fires, hit the crossbar. That one went bar straight south and stayed on the line. Over the head of Hansen and all the way down it goes. And Ronald will go back to ensure icing against the Oil Kings moments after Caleb Hadlin let loose a bullet.
Well, Caleb Hadlin's had 2 great chances. That one off the crossbar, and then last period there, where it looked like it was going to be nothing but net for him, and he gets foiled by a quick arm, or rather a quick leg kick out by Alex Worthington. And, you know, I was glad to see Caleb Hadlin score in his last outing in Swift Current, get back on the score sheet after coming off injury.
He does have an assist in this one as Peter goes for the offensive zone draw for the Wheat Kings following the icing, and he wins it cleanly. Ronald wide to his left, hooks it to Shipley at the right point. Shipley down low, tapped across. Turco fires, blocked. Hadlin on the rebound, stopped by Worthington. Across to Peter, robbed by Worthington with the left pad. Shipley from the right point unloads, and he put it wide. It hits the referee and settles for all coast of the Oil Kings. He'll outweight a forechecker and air this down the ice. Ronald gloves it for Brandon at center. Shipley on the near side, bouncing it ahead to Peter. He'll steer this into Oil Kings territory as Turco goes for a change. Alcos will have some time. Outwaiting Hadlin on the far side with 18:20 to go in the third. Wheat Kings already with some golden chances and some good saves by Worthington. Tamu looks up ice for Edmonton. His pass knocked down by Shipley, but Tamu recovers and dumps it back into the Wheat Kings zone. Dylan Ronald hard up the far boards, all the way around the dasher. Rorsman knocks it down. He's poke checked by Baumüller. Joe Aginla knocks it down to the far corner. Shipley is on it, spinning back to get away from Miller. Rorsma closes on his old teammate. Oil Kings take the puck. Wheat Kings take it back. Shipley up the near side, lifted it ahead. Miller was right in his way. Rorsma behind the Wheat King net as it bounce off his body to Dylan Ronald. Ronald leads the Wheat Kings on the breakout. Baumüller through center, wide to his left, working in on Lee. He'll dump this in and go in after it early in the third period. Baumüller around the net, sends it back up front. Jacobson's backhander is squeezed by Worthington. No rebound from him with 17:39 on the clock in the third. It's a 3-1 Wheat Kings lead, and they've come dangerously close 2 or 3 times now to expanding it.
Yeah, a real good start to the third period for the Brandon Wheat Kings. They had a great third period in Swift Current, just couldn't catch up after being down in that one. But a real good start to this third period, and just moments ago, 2 great chances. Hadlin and then Dominic Peter both have to look up into the sky wondering what they have to do to get that puck in the back of the net.
Jacobson for the offensive zone draw. Clean win to Bame, back to Belushko from the right circle. Belushko throws it to the middle for a shot, scores! Joby Baumüller with a bullet put on a tee by Adam Belushko, and that's the breakthrough the Wheat Kings have been looking for early in the third.
And of course, it stems from a great clean face-off win, and then from there, it doesn't take long. Adam Belushko gets that puck across to Joby Baumüller, and Baumüller, you don't have to say anything else about his shot. We've already talked about it numerous times. He gets that puck away so quick. I don't think he was really looking for anywhere. He just wanted to get it at the net, and it finds the back of the twine.
Nigel Bame set up Belushko with the first pass, which means every one of the Wheat Kings 16-year-olds is on the board in this game. It's a 4-1 Brandon lead with 17:34 to go in the third. Flamin, Michaels, and Johnson for the Wheat Kings to center against Sawchyn, Woodward, and on the far side, the younger Sawchyn, Lucas. Flamin and Gracyn Sawchyn for the draw. Oil Kings win it back. Ryan Gower into his own zone to the far side, on to Fiddler. From the right side, Fiddler flips it up ice. Pantelis is there to swat it away for the Wheat Kings. Lucas Sawchyn reclaims it for Edmonton. Back to Gower in his own zone. Quickly up to Woodward. To the far side for Gracyn Sawchyn over the Wheat King blue line. Sawchyn throws it back to the top for Gower. From the left point, Gower can't quite corral it. Flamin gets it for the Wheat Kings over Gower's head and out to center. Johnson's after it. Poke check by Fiddler. Johnson drives in anyway. Hard to the wall they both go. Fiddler stays on his feet and on the puck. Around the net. Out the far side. Fiddler in control. His pass tipped away from Woodward into the Wheat King zone. The arm is up. Icing is the call. The Oil Kings bench doesn't like it, and they've reason to. It was actually Michael's stick that deflected this puck with 16:57 to go in the third. Shots now 35-31 for the Wheat Kings. Your shots for Kyle Ryan, Denture Clinic, and that's indicative of a real press by Brandon.
Well, it is. You know what? And we just talked about it just the shift before that, where they had 2 glorious chances and just had all kinds of pressure inside the Oil Kings end, and then it's a clean face-off win, and next thing you know, the Wheat Kings actually put that puck in the back of the net.
Dominic Peter for the face-off on the far side to Worthington's right, but the Oil Kings win it cleanly. Dumped around the near side. Pantelis from the right point holds. Swatted around the dasher. Fiddler's on it first for the Oil Kings on the far side of their zone. He'll go up the wall and out to center. Pantelis on the right side of the neutral zone. Dumped ahead, it just missed Peter. Fiddler knocks it down for Edmonton. Quickly to center, too far for Sawchyn. Wheat Kings reclaim it with 16:40 to go in the third. They lead 4-1. Manti to the far side, Zacharias with room. Over the line to his left, over to the near side, Hadlin. Hadlin walks in and fires, and Worthington came out to challenge and left no rebound on the 36th Wheat Kings shot of the game. 4 goals for the Wheat Kings, but it must be repeated. Don't let the stat line fool you. Alex Worthington has been good.
He really has. He's been really busy here in this first 3.5 minutes of the third period, but he's been good all night as well as the Wheat Kings really pour on some pressure.
Zacharias, Hadlin, and Peter stay on for an offensive zone draw for the Wheat Kings. 3.5 into the third. Face off to Worthington's left on the near side of the Oil Kings zone between former teammates Rylan Rorsma and Dominic Peter. Both men left-handed going into the circle in Oil King territory. Rorsma wins it back for Edmonton. Ta'amu up the near side, off the glass and out to center, off the glove of Shipley. He recovers and spins back to buy some time and space. Hit the body of Dominic Peter with his pass, and again breaks back in for Edmonton. From the left circle, Shipley hustled back to erase the chance. Hadland to the far side for Dylan Ronald on room to break out. Ronald looks ahead. It's off an Oil King stick and in on Worthington from range. He steers it off to the near corner. Ta'amu up the near side. Hadland kicks it down the wall, sits down again as he does, but the Oil Kings claim the puck. Alkos leads them to center and dumps it into Bjarnason's left. He'll go after it himself. Alkos lost it to Dylan Ronald behind the Wheat King net, and Shipley's able to hand it off on the Wheat King breakout. Shoveled across to Zacharias. Trying to feed this through to Peter. It's knocked away neatly by the alert Gavin Hodnett. With 15:49 to go in the third, Wheat Kings up 4-1. Hodnett driving through center. Dodges the check of Peter, and that allows Belushko to take the puck. Miller knocks it down and carries back in for Edmonton. Stops up on the left side, drops it off to Hodnett. Into the near corner he goes and back up the boards. Hodnett shields it and sends it low to Hansen. Handing it off for Edmonton as he's knocked to the wall by Nigel Bame. The Wheat Kings take the puck. Belushko to center looking for Peter. It's chopped off his tape and into the Wheat King zone. Baumuller's got some time. He has the most recent goal of the game. Belushko's dump pass too far for Jacobson. All the way down it goes. Icing is the call against the Wheat Kings, who were a little more cautious about touching that puck after a too many men call bit them a little bit in the second period.
Well, you talk about the Oil Kings goaltending. Obviously, Alex Worthington playing so well, but they're pretty good in net. They had Ethan Simcoe play last night, and he gets a shutout. In fact, for the rookie Simcoe, it's his third shutout this year. Worthington, just one shutout to his credit.
4 of those words in a 30-second span. Somewhere Tyler Plant is tearing his hair. Adam Belushko on the far side hands it off to Jordan Gavin. Quickly to center, picked off by Hodnett. He'll shovel the backhander into the near side. First to it is Yeko of the Oil Kings. Working back from the left circle. All the way to the top. He spins it back down low to Hansen. From that left circle in the Wheat King zone, Hansen to the top now. Wide to his right to the middle for Morey. At the right point, Morey throws on the brakes, drives back to his left and shoots through traffic. Bjarnason the pad save. Rebound behind the Wheat King net. Hansen finds it for Edmonton. Chased by Jacobson, who stays right with him. Handed it off to Hodnett. Hodnett feeds it out front for Yeko. His shot was blocked by Bame, and Bjarnason covers the rebound. There's now Bame and Hodnett are into it on the far side, and Belushko and Yeko were separated by the linesman as well. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. 14:47 to go in the third, and the Wheat Kings up 4-1. Carson Bjarnason preserving that spread with a strong right pad stop.
And Yeko, of course, sitting there in front of the slot area. He's a big body, and as quick as he could try to get that shot away, the Wheat Kings were on him. He didn't get everything on that puck because of the good response by the Wheat King defense, and the shot just gets redirected a little bit and just kind of dribbles towards Carson Bjarnason. He jumps on it.
Nolan Flamin for the draw on the far side to Bjarnason's left. Sawchyn, his opponent, wins it cleanly back to the right point. Gower to his left, now to the far side. Fiddler with room, walks in, drags and fires. Bjarnason the save, rebound. The Wheat Kings fight for it, so do the Oil Kings. It's chopped wide of the net. Manti in the corner, knocked down by Fiddler. Flamin's in to help behind that Wheat King net. Rorsma jousting away for it for the Oil Kings, wins it up the near side. Spinning back in the corner, Rorsma trying to floor it out front, knocked away by Bjarnason. And Quinn Manti finds the rebound first. He'll fire it to center, knocked down by Gracyn Sawchyn. Dodging his way over the line, shrugged off 2 checks and carried into the far corner. Sawchyn dragging it on his forehand, stopped by Bjarnason. And he covers the rebound with Rorsma lurking close by. Gracyn Sawchyn stayed on the puck and stayed on his feet, despite Flamin and Manti both taking a healthy run at him in the neutral zone.
Well, Sawchyn, you can just see how smart of a player he is. You know what? He just gets his center of gravity a little bit lower and really leans in on his edges as he drives towards the net there. And as hard as the Wheat King defense were trying to move him out of the way, he still managed to get to the goaltender and get a shot on net. But by the time he released the puck, he was in pretty tight, and Bjarnason was positionally sound.
In the meantime, Flamin is wrapped up with Craik, who gives him a shot on the far side. If you missed it earlier, Craik has been called up from the MJHL's Winkler Flyers. They said before the game, we want you to play heavy, and this would qualify. Too Good and Shipley are into it. Meantime, as tempers start to flare here with 14:15 to go in the third. The Wheat Kings are up 4-1. It's Michaels, Zacharias, and Baumuller for the draw in Wheat King territory. Craik will have the face-off against Michaels for the Oil Kings. Michaels ties up. Zacharias got sat down, but the Wheat Kings claim it anyway. Shipley to Baumuller at center with speed, breaking in on Woodward wide to his right. Baumuller dumps it softly down to the near corner of the Oil Kings zone. Zacharias to the forecheck. Woodward claims it for Edmonton. Out the far side away from Baumuller, who's chopping at him every step of the way. Woodward gets over the blue line. On the far side, it's dumped in behind Bjarnason. Shipley tries to bat it away from Woodward. Got lined up, and Pantelis got hit nowhere near the puck by Craik. Wheat Kings take the puck anyway. Michaels to center, wide to his left, to Baumuller over the blue line. Baumuller tried to go back to Michaels. It's in on Worthington, and he decides he's seen enough. He's going to hang on as Too Good and Zacharias have a quick exchange of unpleasantries with the Wheat Kings leading 4-1 on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5. 15 goals on the season now for Joby Bom to put the Wheat Kings up 4-1, and the tempers are starting to flare in this one a little bit as well. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. As with Marcus Wynn out of the box, the Wheat Kings can get their forward unit back to a semblance of normalcy. It's Hadland, Peter, Turco, Ronald, and Shipley against Sawchyn, Roersma. Lee is 1 point man, and on the far side, Miller for the Oil Kings. Face off to the right of Worthington, Peter and Sawchyn to take it. Peter the clean win. Dylan Ronald from the middle to Shipley at the right point. Shipley flips this harmlessly to the near corner. Lee is on it for the Oil Kings. His pass blocked by Hadland. Wheat Kings work it back up the near wall. Turco now carrying to the corner. Behind the net for Peter. He stops up and waits for a lane. Poke checked by Morey. Shipley will pinch up to hold the zone from the right point. All the way to the far corner of the Oil Kings zone. Sawchyn on it, golfed it past the pinching Ronald, and down the ice it goes. The arm is up, but Miller's going to beat out that icing. On the far side, Miller had his pass blocked by Shipley. Miller stays on it from the right circle. Back to the right point for Lee. Lee from the shot, shoots through traffic, tipped away by Hadland. Hadland picks it up, and he'll spin back to buy some time against Roersma's forecheck. Hadland fired it off the stick of Miller. It's held onside by Roersma from the left point. Working down the near side to Sawchyn. Driving up the boards, he'll feed the point for Morey. From the left point, Morey's shot blocked by Turco. Morey gets it right back. Turco closes on him, trying to get him out of the zone. Morey won't oblige him. From the near side, Morey carries down low in Wheat King territory with 12:50 to go in the third. Sawchyn from the left point, shot blocked by Turco. Shipley after the rebound, freed it up for Caleb Hadland. He'll send it up the near boards and down the ice. The arm is up, but this one will be waved off as Lee is back for the Oil Kings. On the far corner of Oil Kings territory, he'll come up with it and drop it back to Morey. Morey winding behind the Edmonton net with 12.5 to go in the third. He'll calm things down as Gavin Hodnett joins the ice for the Oil Kings. Lee sends it up ice to Hansen, tipped neatly in on Bjarnason from long range. Bjarnason plays it off to Pantelis on the near side. Hard up the boards to Gavin. He'll feed the middle. Baumüller pokes it ahead, and he and Jacobson are away 2-on-1, but the puck would not settle, and Fiddler knocks it away for Edmonton. Carrying back in is Hansen up the far side. Throws it towards the front of the net. Bjarnason juggled it, but fought it off. Behind the Wheat King net, Manti is after it. Puck comes loose. Baumüller pokes it away from the front of the net. Sent back to the near corner. Hansen has a man pinching. He'll spin it back out front, hit the outside of the net. Yeko on the near side for Edmonton as they press. All the way to the top. Yeko to the far side. Fiddler from the right point. He shoots, saved by Bjarnason, and no rebound with 11:53 to go in the third. Shots are even at 37. Your shots for Kyle Ryan Denture Clinic, but it is a 4-1 Wheat King lead.
Well, there's this example of where the Oil Kings had some control in the offensive zone. They moved the puck around the outside. They finally have to deliver a shot from the blue line, and, credit to the Wheat Kings. They've really done a good job in their own zone here in the third period, and they've really limited the Edmonton Oil King chances, especially in close.
Flamin, Wynn, and Johnson for the Wheat Kings now. Hansen will take the draw for Edmonton. He's got Fiddler, the point man, playing on his left, and Hodnett filling in at the point. Wheat Kings win the draw. Manti in the far corner, looking up ice, has two men flying the zone. He'll wind to his right to buy some time. Ahead to Nick Johnson, who steers this into Oil King territory. Quickly back out again, thanks to the back checking of Gower. Poked over the blue line. Gower had his pass nearly picked off by Wynn. Fiddler's there to clean it up for Edmonton. Out the far side of his net, Blake Fiddler from the right side looks up ice. His pass too far for Hodnett. Pantelis pokes it away. Flamin lost it to Hodnett on the near side of the neutral zone. It's dumped into Wheat King territory as Manti goes back to take the handoff from Carson Bjarnason. 11:21 to go in the third. Johnson able to get a stick on that to steer it into the Oil King zone. First to it is Ta'amu of Edmonton. He'll carry out the near side of his own net. Up the near boards to Craik. Holding the puck and dumping it ahead. Lost it to Marcus Wynn, and the Wheat Kings take back over. Bame on the far side. Bouncing it ahead. Missed Alkos. No icing on the play as Flamin goes after it. Ta'amu sends it up the near side to Craik. In and out of his feet. Craik will carry ahead wide to his left. He fires it across to the far side. Too far for Woodward. Woodward gets it over the Wheat King blue line for Lucas Sawchyn. Sawchyn's shot blocked by Wynn. He'll spin back on the far side. Wynn picks his pocket, and Bame takes it away for Brandon. Up the boards, picked off by Woodward. From the right circle, back to Sawchyn in the corner. Fed back out front and tipped away from Woodward before he can shoot. Ta'amu from the left point has his shot go wide. Behind the Wheat King net, Belushko is after it. Lifted it up the far boards. Lucas Sawchyn there for the Oil Kings. Poke checked and ridden off the puck by Belushko. Flamin will flip this high and out to center. Wheat Kings will get it over the red line thanks to Wynn, who's breaking in himself wide to his right. Wynn stays onside and fires it across. Kicked away from Johnson as the Wheat Kings change. Lucas Sawchyn carrying ahead, lost it to Wynn a second time. Johnson gets it back over the blue line and flips it on to the far corner. Alkos there first against the stick checking of Jacobson. Up the near side with Jacobson still on him. Jacobson nearly made the strip. Alkos just able to escape. 10-10 to go in the third. Roersma breaks in wide to his left. Flips it on to Alkos joining the rush. He's poke checked and erased by Dylan Ronald. In the near corner, Roersma for the Oil Kings. Around the net away from Shipley. Wraps it back out. Run for a shot, and Carson Bjarnason robs Miller. Point blank range to keep the 4-1 spread.
Wow, great save by Carson Bjarnason on Miller. Miller goes in all alone there. Tried to elevate his shot and Bjarnason waves that big trapper and makes that save look easy. Miller led all shooters in the first 2 periods of this game with 6 shots, and he can't seem to buy one here tonight.
Jacobson, Shipley, Zacharias, and Michaels against the Sawchyn, Miller, Roersma, Lee, and Morey unit. Both teams doing some line juggling here as Jacobson takes the draw to Bjarnason's left. Past the midway mark of the third, Wheat Kings up 4-1. Shooting gallery continues 39-37. The shots favor the Oil Kings. Jacobson wins the draw back in the far corner. Dylan Ronald away from the forecheck of Miller, hooks it to Luke Shipley. He's got a little time and space. Zacharias on the far side to center. Winding to his left, he'll get over the red line and dump it in. Worthington's out to play it for Edmonton. Up the near side to Lee. From the bottom of his own right circle, he spins it on to Miller, robbed moments ago by Bjarnason. He'll wind to his right. Pumping the legs, Miller accelerates ahead towards the Wheat Kings zone with speed. To the far side, Miller still in control. Shoots and he put it high. Up the near side, Shipley after it. Sends it down low. Roersma lost his stick, and that allows Ronald to take the puck for the Wheat Kings. Around the far side, Zacharias is on it first. Sawchyn coming right at him with 9:20 to go in the third period. Wheat Kings still up 4-1, most recently scoring from Joby Bom. Zacharias tries to kick it down the wall. It comes free to Shipley, away from Yeko, and out the near side. Yeko able to force him off the puck. Bjarnason golfs it away, and Dylan Ronald finds it first. Flipped softly ahead to Michaels. He'll dump it off the wall and down the ice, not far enough for icing. Lee picks it up for Edmonton. Carrying through center, Lee makes a move on Michaels over the Wheat King blue line. Into the near corner on Shipley, who knocks him off the puck neatly. Dominic Peter will take it. Peter's backhander gloved down by Hansen. Peter tries to force it through him a second time. Finally, it comes over the Oil King blue line, but they're right there to collect it. Blake Fiddler on the far side of his own zone. Looking up ice, his pass hits a skate and comes to center. Peter picks it off. Dominic Peter walks to the slot. To the far side, Turco. He can't pull the trigger as Yeko was back defensively. Hodden it now for the Oil Kings through center. Over the Wheat King blue line to his right. Throws on the brakes and feeds Gower joining the rush. He shoots, blocked by Hadlin. Manti in the far corner for the Wheat Kings. To the near side, Pantelis with 8:27 to go in the third. Long lead feed finds Turco, but he couldn't quite corral it. No icing on the play. Fiddler to the right of his own net in Oil King territory. Lost it to Hadlin, who feeds the middle. Yeko there to clean it up. Working back to the far side of his own zone. Yeko now out the near side, makes a couple of moves. Nearly lost it, now does. Peter pulls the trigger, and Worthington bails out Yeko with a calm save. 8:09 to go in the third. No rebound from the veteran netminder.
Well, good back pressure by Dominic Peter there, and he forces the turnover in the Oil Kings end. He gets rewarded with a pretty good shot, and for Dominic Peter, he was leading all Wheat Kings shooters after 2 with 5 shots. He adds another great scoring chance there, so he's had a little bit of a frustrating night there. Dominic Peter has an assist tonight, but he hasn't found the back of the net yet.
8:09 to go in the third. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5 and CHL Live. Jacobson, Gavin, and Baummuller, the forward unit for the Wheat Kings. Roersma will take the draw for Edmonton to the left of Worthington in the Oil Kings zone. Jacobson and Roersma both left-handed. One to the near side. Oil Kings find it first. Alkos throws it dangerously out front. It comes free to Jacobson from the left circle. Thrown across for a shot. Worthington sprawls across. And moments after Bjarnason came up with a big-time stop, Worthington says, anything you can do, I can do better, as the two goalies go save for save.
Well, just amazing vision by Jax Jacobson. Jumps on that loose puck. Quick backhand pass and the one-timer by Joby Bom. And you have to wonder how Worthington was able to get over there so quick and smother that shot. Just a great save.
Jacobson and Roersma will try that draw again on the far side of the Oil King zone. This time Jacobson wins it cleanly. Baummuller on the far side, tracked by Joe Aginla, who knocks it to center. Too good for the Oil Kings, gains the red line, hands it off to Roersma from the right circle between his feet. Roersma sends it back out front, missed everybody in white. Baummuller picks up the rebound, dangerously to the middle, but the Wheat Kings clean it up. Jacobson to center, right up the gut. Over the Oil King blue line to his left. Jacobson carries to the far corner. Around the net, he feeds it back out front. His shot was blocked. Jacobson gets the rebound on the far side. Twisting it on goal, that rides a stick and goes high. Pantelis from the right point. Makes the keep and throws it down low. Sped on its way by Gavin. Behind the net, the Oil Kings find it. Jacobson working on Morey on the near side. Takes him off the puck. Morey gloves down Baumuller's pass attempt, and Lee will scoop it up for Edmonton. 7:21 to go in the third. A long-range dump out by the Oil Kings rings off the score clock, and we'll get a face-off back in Edmonton territory. Both goaltenders standing on their heads at various times as the two teams have combined for 78 shots, but it's the Wheat Kings leading 4-1.
And you're absolutely right, Rob. Both goaltenders have been really challenged tonight and have come up just huge. And, of course, we just isolated that last save by Worthington off that nice play by Jax Jacobson and Baummuller with the one-timer. But it's been that story all night, both goalies just standing on their head.
Flamin, Johnson, and Wynn for the Wheat Kings for an offensive zone draw. Craik will oppose Flamin in the circle. Craik's a righty, Flamin a lefty. Flamin ties up, and the Oil Kings win it back. Fiddler carries ahead with Wynn draped all over him. Fiddler able to shake loose using that 6'4" frame. He'll rifle this into Wheat King territory up the near side. Woodward and Belushko after it. Belushko for the Wheat Kings claims the puck. Pass up the far side. Fiddler pinching. Johnson golfs it into his shin pads. Fiddler able to hold the zone. Wheat Kings take the puck again. Up the near side it comes. Gower now for the Oil Kings. Holds the zone. He sends it on goal. Save Bjarnason. Nolan Flamin's on the rebound. Drops it off to Belushko on the near side. Skating his way ahead. Belushko's got a 2-point night. He'll find Wynn at center. Wynn dumps it in. Nick Johnson after it. One hands it out front. Flamin catches up to it behind the net. From the goal line, Flamin feeds it back to the top. It missed Wynn. He'll catch up to it on the far side and spin off Gower. Wynn pool cues it back to the line. Ronald makes the keep to Flamin in the far corner. Poked it loose for Wynn. Gower was right in his way. Woodward will take it and spin back on the far side. Woodward able to escape a couple of forechecking Wheat Kings to center for Craig. On his backhand, he's stripped by Luke Shipley with 6:21 to go in the third. Shipley on the near side flips it on to Flamin. Over to the far side for Ronald with some runway. To center he goes. Over the blue line, wide to his left. Gets outside on Morey, who stays with him. He chops it back to Marcus Wynn. Wynn down the far board. Stops on a dime and finds Ronald. Now sent back to the far corner. Michaels is after it for the Wheat Kings, fresh off the bench. It's poked past him, but Ronald is there to hold the zone. Ronald goes down the wall and around the net. 6 minutes to go in the third. Wheat Kings up 4-1. Baumüller up the near side. Had his pass blocked, and Roersma drags his way ahead. Roersma through center, wide to his left, to the near side for Miller. Skating into the corner, Miller throws on the brakes. From the left circle, he drives back to the top. Feeds it to the far side. Morey from the right point sends this through traffic. Bjarnason sees it all the way and takes it right in the breadbasket. 5:42 to go in the third period. More tempers flaring as Sawchyn got into it with Ronald a little bit, and now the linesmen are going to have to pull them apart as the Wheat Kings lead 4-1 on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5. Wheat Kings with a 4-1 lead. Joby Bom with a goal and an assist in this one. Adam Belushko with the same stat line. And the shots are 40-39 favoring the Oil Kings. Here with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. Power plays even at one. In fact, they intersected with one another in every way but the score, Pete. This has been the even game we might have predicted.
It really has. I mean, it's been entertaining. There have been chances at both ends. The shots are even. The penalties are even. Hardly any, which, you know, you and I were talking off air that it's amazing there hasn't been more calls in this one here tonight. But, you know, both teams are giving some great entertainment with end-to-end action and goal-scoring opportunities.
5:42 to go in the third. Face-off on the far side of the Wheat Kings zone. Dominic Peter against Gracyn Sawchyn of the Oil Kings. Peter wins it cleanly back. Man tied to Gio Pantelis, who has a goal in this one. Quickly up to Turco. He boots it to center. Back for it is Tomu of the Oil Kings. Handing it off for Roersma. He'll hand it back to Tomu on the near side. Hard around the far side. Morey goes skate to stick and makes the neat handoff to Miller. Through center with speed towards the Wheat King blue line. Over the line, he drives the middle to his left. Flipped it on to Roersma at the left circle. He couldn't corral it. Roersma sends it back out front. Miller now around the net. Out the far side, back to the line for Morey. From the point, Morey tightrope walks and shoots. Bjarnason the paddle save. Roersma on the rebound on the far side. Poke check by Pantelis. Miller joins the pile. He sits Pantelis down. Roersma in the corner to the near side. Gracyn Sawchyn off the goal line. His shot rides a stick and goes out of play. 5:04 to go in the third. The work ethic and speed of the line of Miller, Sawchyn, and Roersma has hemmed the Wheat Kings in a couple times.
Well, you know what? And they have to make a push right now. There's only 5 minutes and 4 seconds left in this game, and the Oil Kings down by 3. They're going to need to get at least one more goal back if they want to have an opportunity to maybe get the netminder out for an extra attacker. So, you know, they have to make a push here as they're running out of time.
Wheat Kings send Belushko, Jacobson, Bame, Baumüller, and Gavin against Yeko, Hansen, Hodnett, Alkos, and Lee. Face off on the near side of the Brandon zone to the right of Carson Bjarnason. Jacobson and Yeko for the draw. Jacobson with an assist in his first game back from injury. Ties up. Yeko's able to win it, but the Wheat Kings anticipate that, and Baumüller gets to center. He'll flip this past Alkos. Back forward is Lee on the near side, collecting for the Oil Kings. He'll spin it up the near boards to his D partner, Alkos. From the left circle, Alkos flips it to center. Belushko knocked it down. Jacobson will collect the rebound and play it across to Bame on the far side. Bame looking ahead to Gavin. Over the Oil Kings blue line, he's stood up by Lee. Alkos able to take it in the far corner. He'll send it around the near side to Hansen. From the bottom of the left circle, he's poke checked by Jacobson. Gavin on the rebound up the near side. To the middle for Baumüller. On the rolling puck, he shoots off a body and wide. Rebound behind the net found by Lee. His pass knocked away by Gavin. To Jacobson at the right circle. Jacobson throws it up front for a shot. Worthington another save on Baumüller. On the far side, collected by Hansen. He'll skate to center for the Oil Kings, dumping it in. Got stood up by Bam as he did with 4:16 to go in the third. Up the near boards, Yeko collects for Edmonton. He's poke checked and the Wheat Kings take it. Flip to center for Gavin, trying to pull away with Fiddler tracking him. Gavin spins back from the right circle. Fiddler able to stay right with him and take him off the puck. Quickly ahead to Sawchyn, breaking into his left. From the left circle, Sawchyn tightrope walks, holds, fires, blocked by Shipley. And his follow-up try harmlessly in on Bjarnason with 3:59 to go in the third. Baumuller's beaten him once in this third period, but Worthington since then has robbed him twice.
And Baumuller had a lot of heat on that last shot. You know, you and I have talked about how heavy that shot of his is, and there's another example, another one-timer, and Worthington is able to get over there and get to that far post to keep that puck out.
Under 4 now to go in the third. Wheat Kings up 4-1. Worthington remains in the Oil King net as Sawchyn's on the ice with Woodward and his brother Lucas. Flamin for the draw, wins it for the Wheat Kings. Manti to Nick Johnson on the far side. Johnson throws it across to Shipley on the near side, and he'll neatly flip it to center for Flamin. Over the Oil King blue line to his right. Flamin waits, had his pass blocked by a back-checking Sawchyn. Up the near side and out to center. Shipley knocks it down. Manti back in the Wheat King zone, but Shipley's ruled to have played that with a high stick. 3:43 to go in the third. The linesman is bringing everybody back into the Wheat Kings end for a face-off to Bjarnason's right.
Well, again, as we said earlier, if the Oil Kings want to get a chance to get into this game, they have to score, and they're running out of time to even get that next one here. So an offensive face-off is something perfectly set for them, but again, they have to get that puck to the net.
Roan Woodward seems to be waiting for Sawchyn to win it. Meanwhile, Flamin, Wynn, and Johnson, the opposing forward unit for the Wheat Kings. 3:43 to go in the third, a 4-1 Brandon lead, and Flamin does indeed win the critical draw. Shipley behind the Brandon net, chased out by Lucas. Sawchyn makes the handoff, out to center the Wheat Kings come. Shipley forced back into his own zone on the near side. He'll go to the far side for the captain, Quinn Manti. 3.5 to go in the third. Johnson at center for the Wheat Kings. Firing this into the Oil King zone for Flamin to skate onto. Fiddler goes back behind the Oil King net. Flamin picked his pocket. Head out to Johnson. Johnson fires, and it's a save by Worthington. Up the near side. Shipley goes back to Flamin behind the net again. Coming out the near side again, but this time it's picked off by Lucas Sawchyn. For the Oil Kings, he'll reset. Flipping it to the far side for Gower with 3:08 to go in the third. Wheat Kings ahead by 3. Shipley pool cues something away from Gracyn Sawchyn as Marcus Wynn breaks back into his left. He'll drop it off to Shipley joining the attack. Spun to the far boards. He finds Flamin in the corner. Tried to hook it back out front. As the Oil Kings win it, Gower will bounce this down the ice. Gracyn Sawchyn just golfs this in at the end of a shift. He's exhausted as he and Quinn Manti were tangled up behind the play. Manti on the far side, quickly up ice to Michaels. He'll tip this into the Oil Kings zone. Wheat Kings to the forecheck with 2:42 to go in the third. Around the near side of the Edmonton zone. Craik is on it right away. He's poke checked. Pantelis takes it at center for a moment. Knocked into the Wheat King zone by Aginla. Up the near side comes Too Good. From the left circle, he'll send this on goal, and Bjarnason makes the calm trapper save with Craik poised right on top of him. 2.5 to go in the third. Face-off coming up in the Wheat King zone. You're with Rob Mann and Pete Gerlinger tonight on Q Country 91.5. The Wheat Kings lead 4-1 with 4 different goal scorers.
Well, the Edmonton Oil Kings came very close to getting a too-many-men call. In fact, it should have been called, and the coaching staff from the Wheat Kings bench are still questioning the official. As Gracyn Sawchyn was going off the ice, he decided to hang around for an extra second to knock the puck in the zone, but his replacement had already jumped onto the ice. It was clearly too many men on the ice, but no call was made.
Old buddies Michaels and Roersma will take the draw on the near side of the Wheat Kings zone, and Michaels, the righty, wins it. Ronald to the far corner for the Wheat Kings. With under 2.5 now to go in the third, gets it to center. Damu takes it back for Edmonton. Zacharias kicked it away from him. Wheat Kings reclaim it. Ronald in his own zone. Feathers it back to center, and Zacharias with good hand-eye steers this into the Oil King zone. Morey goes back behind the Edmonton net. Chased out the far side. Zacharias strips him of the puck, and he dodges a check for good measure. Baumuller in to help behind the Edmonton net. Comes up with the puck. Sends it off a body. Michaels knocked it high. He'll get after the rebound on the far side. Erased by Hansen. Zacharias in to help. Morey for Edmonton. Out the near side now with under 2 to go in the third. He'll stretch the ice out and find Hansen. Over the Wheat King blue line. Wide to his right. Hansen shoots. Carson Bjarnason the calm trapper save. And with Hansen driving the net, Bjarnason decides to just hang on to that. The Oil Kings firing everything at the Wheat Kings veteran netminder. Tonight, nothing has seemed to phase him.
And if you're going to shoot the puck from there, Carson Bjarnason will take it all the time. And I liked how you said just that calm trapper save, because that's exactly what it is. When you can keep your opponent to the outside and make them shoot the puck from outside the dots, you'll take that any day of the week for a goaltender.
Face off on the far side of the Wheat Kings zone. Peter to take it for the Wheat Kings. Scrambled up, lifted free to Belushko, and he'll fire this to center for Turco. Skating in, he'll dump this past Alkos and hustle in after it. Worthington's going to have to cover up as Turco was right on top of him. So with 1:41 to go in the third, we get a face-off in Oil Kings territory. Edmonton has not shown a lot of inclination yet to get Worthington out, and the Wheat Kings with a 4-1 lead probably don't mind that.
Yeah, and this doesn't seem to be enough time now for the Oil Kings to do anything, and Worthington had no choice but to smother that puck with pressure coming on him. He'd like to have played it, but just impossible to do that.
Peter for the draw on the near side of Oil King territory, cleanly won back to Belushko. To the far side, Bam from the left point. Bam waits and dumps it down low. Peter after it behind the Oil King net, frees it up for Turco. In the near corner, he tries to go back down low. Again, LeBlanc that for Edmonton. Turco hounding him, forcing him off the puck. Too good, winding it up for the Oil Kings now. Under 90 seconds to go in the third. Over the Wheat King blue line, he flips it into Bjarnason's left. Belushko goes back defensively. Takes the bump as the Oil Kings send it back to the left point. Gower. He tightrope walks and sends this on to Craig at the left circle. Craig all the way back to the top, spins it down low. Bame is there first for the Wheat Kings. Hard up the far side, Fiddler waits for it. The right-hander holds from the point. He shoots through traffic, redirected wide of Bjarnason. Craig is after the rebound. Bjarnason just swats it away from him. Puck sent back out front, and Bjarnason decides to hang on to that. Bame and Craig now into it at the side of the Wheat King net as Craig gives him an extra shot, and the linesmen come in to pull everybody apart. 1:01 to go in the third. It's a 4-1 Wheat King lead, and as mentioned, it doesn't seem like the Oil Kings are inclined to get Worthington out of the net.
Yeah, yes, as you said, Rob. Still a minute left here, minute and 1 second, and it doesn't seem like they're going to make any effort to pull the goaltender there. And, you know, again, the Oil Kings forced to shoot the puck from behind the goal line. Carson Bjarnason right up, hugging the post, seals it right off there, and there's no way that puck is going to bounce off him and in back of the net. But it just goes to show you that the Wheat Kings in the third have been very good defensively and forcing the Oil Kings to shoot from all the areas outside where Bjarnason can see the puck so clearly.
Craig stays on the ice for the Oil Kings in his first WHL game in the province that he's made his hockey home in the MJHL. He's getting an extra long look here with Roersma and Sawchyn. Draw one by the Oil Kings in the final minute of the third. Lucas Sawchyn shoots, tipped high by Craig behind the Wheat King net. Gavin fighting for the rebound. On it is Morey, pinching well up from his point position. Sent up the boards. Gavin able to lift it ahead. Wheat Kings counter with a forward back playing defense. Baumüller to center. Wide to his right over the Oil King blue line. Baumüller pulls the trigger. A good stick check by Tom, who negated that. On the far side, Oil Kings get it up the boards. Craig to center, but he turned it over to Shipley. 35 seconds to go. Shipley back into his own zone for Quinn Manti with the Wheat Kings up 4-1 late. Manti patiently feathers it ahead to Baumüller. He'll lift the backhander in, and the Wheat Kings will go in after it rather unenthusiastically, allowing the Oil Kings some time. Sawchyn on the far side from his own right circle, 20 seconds to go. He'll drive the middle, passes to Roersma over the Wheat King blue line. Roersma's toe drag is sealed away by Manti. To the near side, Shipley after it. Lost it to Roersma, tried to work it back out front. That was bottled up. Swept away to the near side. Lucas Sawchyn sends it back out front. Jacobson's the only man there. 6 seconds to go, and the rookie will calmly drift this down the ice. Great touch not to ice it. A complete win by the Wheat Kings. 4 different goal scorers, and a heck of a performance at the other end by Carson Bjarnason. 46 saves on 47 shots. One for the books for a Wheat Kings team that gets back to their winning ways.
Well, you know, as we said before the game, the Brandon Wheat Kings have 3 tough Alberta opponents coming up, and they start off with a big win against the Edmonton Oil Kings. That's 1 in the books, a big home win for the Brandon Wheat Kings.
Joby Bom sank the dagger in the third period. They tried to get more offense, but Worthington was solid for the Oil Kings. Both goaltenders good in this one, but it's Carson Bjarnason who will get the last laugh with 46 saves on 47 shots for one of his busiest outings of the campaign. Wheat Kings 4, Oil Kings 1 is your final. We'll go to the post-game show on your home of the Wheat Kings, Q Country 91.5.